The Supreme Saint, the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction, and the Sacred Sun of Floating Lights faction faced each other from a distance. Powerful battle intent filled the air. The combat. 1. Tian had yet to begin, but the scene was already filled with the smell of gunpowder. "My cousin is here!" Yu Linglong cried out happily. "Holy Maiden Qingxiang is here!" Then, someone shouted. In unison, everyone's eyes turned to look into the distance, especially the male disciples, whose eyes were glowing. In the distance, a group of people flew over. This group of people was mostly female disciples, with only a few male disciples. Many of the female disciples were extremely beautiful. No wonder many of the male disciples' eyes were shining. The person in the lead was Ouyang Qingxiang. Is that Holy Maiden Qingxiang? She's indeed a national beauty. She's so beautiful. She's truly a peerless beauty. Many of the outer sect disciples had never seen Ouyang Qingxiang before, and their eyes were all shining. The Tianhong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun also looked toward Ouyang Qingxiang, their eyes burning. Buzz, buzz, and NBSP whoosh. In the distance, people kept flying over. The other Holy Sons and Holy Virgins also arrived one by one. Holy Sun Ji Xia led his sex people here. The Yenkong Saint Sun had led his faction here. Holy Maiden Xuetan also led her faction to the battlefield. Soon, 6 of the 7 Holy Sons and Holy Virgins of the Kong Xian sect arrived. Without a doubt, they were all unparalleled geniuses and unfathomable. There's also the Supreme Holy Sun. I wonder if he'll personally come this time? It's hard to say. The Supreme Holy Sun is the strongest of all the Holy Sons. The Supreme Holy Sun's faction is also the strongest of all the Holy Sons. The Supreme Holy Sun didn't appear in the last sect compet. One time. I hope that the Supreme Holy Sun can show himself. He's my idol. Many people were discussing this. Among the 7 Holy Sons and Holy Virgins of the Kong Xian sect, the Supreme Holy Sun was undoubtedly the strongest and the most promising one to inherit the position of sect leader in the future. Therefore, the Supreme Holy Sun's faction was also the strongest. In the last sect compet. 1. Tian, the Supreme Saint didn't appear, but his sect still dominated, suppressing the other sects of the Saint and Saintess. 2248 in the last sect compet. 1. Tian, the Supreme Saint didn't appear, but his sect still dominated, suppressing the other sects of the Saint and Saintess. The people from the Supreme Saint's faction are here. Someone shouted. A group of people flew over from the north. There were many of them, far more than the other Holy Sons and Holy Virgins. The Supreme Holy Sun? It's really the Supreme Holy Sun. The Supreme Holy Sun has personally appeared. Someone exclaimed in excitement. The Supreme Saint. Lu Ming's gaze also looked over. A large group of people was flying in their direction. However, Lu Ming noticed a young man in the middle with one glance. This young man was tall and burly. His eyes were like stars, and his face was as sharp as a knife. He was full of dignity and had an air of supremacy. Lu Ming knew that this person must be the Supreme Holy Sun without anyone saying anything. As soon as the Supreme Saint Sun arrived, the Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others all looked grave as if they were facing a great enemy. The people from the Supreme Holy Sun's faction stood at the side and waited in silence. In just a short moment, many figures flew out from the depths of the inner gate area. The sect master of Kong Xian sect, Long Zhoushan, had arrived. There were also some inner sect elders who arrived. Now, the number of people is almost here. I announce that the sect compet. 1. Tian has officially begun. Just like the previous years, the outer sect disciples will first compete on the stage. The higher the ranking, the richer the rewards. Now, for the outer sect disciples who have registered, I will draw lots to decide their opponents. An inner sect elder landed on the fighting ring and announced the rules of the compet. 1. Tian. Then he drew lots to start the compet. 1. Tian. First, the outer sect disciples took action, and the fierce battle began. However, Lu Ming was not very interested in the compet. 1. Tian between outer disciples. Moreover, there weren't many experts worth paying attention to. People like Wing Demon, Fengyuan Dao, and Madman, who used to be in the top 10 of the virtual god ranking list, had already broken through the true god realm and become inner disciples. Now, there were fewer talents in the outer sect, and there was a shortage of new talents. However, many people were still watching the battle seriously, especially those from the factions of the Seven Saints and Saintesses. They were looking at the geniuses from the outer sect. If they didn't join any factions, they could come out and invite them. The compet. 1. Tie-in between the outer sect disciples lasted for half a month before it finally ended. After that, it was time for the compet. 1. Tie-in between the inner disciples. The inner sect disciples, compet. 1. Tie-in was the real highlight and would attract a lot of attention. Of course, not all inner sect disciples had to partake. 1. T8. The rule was that only true God realm experts had to partake. 1. T8. When one reached the heavenly God realm, because the number was too small and they were too strong, they didn't need to partake. 1. T8. The battle between the true God realm experts, each major sect sent their true God realm experts. It was indeed very exciting. Lu Ming was also dazzled by the scene. There were all sorts of different races, all sorts of divine skills, and even all sorts of secret arts. All of them had extraordinary power and all sorts of divine abilities. However, on the whole, it was still the Supreme Holy Sons faction that suppressed the others. In the end, all the major sects finally sent their top experts on the real God ranking list. There were only 100 people on the real God ranking list. When they were split among the Qin Heaven 13 clans, each clan had less than 10 people. Moreover, the number of people on the real God ranking list had always been dominated by the 3 overlords. Kong Xian sect had a total of 8 people on the real God ranking list. These 8 people were all from the 7 Saint and Saintess factions. The other 6 Holy Sons and Holy Virgins had 1 each, while the Supreme Holy Sons faction had 2. Boom, boom. In the fighting ring, 2 top experts on real God ranking list were fighting fiercely and colliding continuously. The experts on real God ranking list are indeed shockingly powerful. Lu Ming looked at it carefully and sighed in his heart. The 2 people on the fighting ring were both stronger than Lu Zhong. One should know that Lu Zhong had been at the peak of the true God realm for countless years. He had cultivated quite a few divine skills to the peak of the 4th stage and controlled king-grade divine power, so his combat strength was not weak. However, both of them were above the music. The real God ranking list listed the strongest group of people in the real God stage, and it was not just for show. One of them was from the Tianhong Saint Sons faction, while the other was from the Jixia Saint Sons faction. The 2 of them exchanged hundreds of moves. In the end, the expert from the Tianhong Saint Sons sect won by a slight margin and defeated the other party. The Tianhong Saint Sun smiled, while the Jixia Saint Sun looked gloomy. The compet. 1. Tie-in continued and it was already at the final stage. It was all the battles between experts on the real God ranking list, and every match was extremely exciting. A few more days said before the compet. 1. Tie-in finally ended. This time, it was still the Supreme Holy Sons faction that suppressed everyone else and took first place in overall strength. There was one person from the Supreme Saint Sons faction who was terrifyingly powerful. He was ranked 6th on the real God ranking list. The top 10 of the real God ranking list were mostly occupied by the 3 overlord forces. They were ranked 6th on the real God ranking list, which showed how powerful they were. This person was the number 1 true God expert of the Kong Xian sect, and there was no doubt that the Supreme Holy Sons faction would be the number 1. Bestowing Lu Ming with the Tli of Saint the Compet. 1. Tie-in was over, and the rewards were given out. After this battle, the prestige of the Supreme Holy Sons faction naturally rose to another level. No one could compare to it. The other Holy Sons and Holy Virgins all looked solemn. If this continued, the position of the future sect master would probably fall to the Supreme Holy Son. I must get that thing. That way, I will be able to fight against the Supreme Holy Son. The Tianhong Saint Sun clenched his fists. Alright, I hereby announce that the sect compet. 1. Tie-in has officially ended. The sect leader of Kongxian sect, Long Zhousan's voice resounded throughout the entire area. However, he paused for a moment before he continued, "However, I still have a big announcement to make today." There's something big to announce? Many people were stunned and revealed curious expressions. Even most of the inner sect elders revealed curious expressions. It was obvious that they didn't know what Dragon Boat Mountain was going to announce. Today, I'm going to confer a new Saint Tli. The voices of Dragon Boat Mountain rang out together. What? A new holy son? He's going to be made a saint? This is a big deal, but there hasn't been anyone suitable for it recently. That's right. The only suitable candidate is the number 2 figure from the Supreme Holy Sons faction. Is he going to be independent? The Dragon Boats Mountain's words caused the entire place to clamor. Everyone was speculating who the Dragon Boats Mountain was going to confer as the son of saint. It was not that easy to become a saint. First, one had to be a heavenly god and the divine power they could control had to be above the divine grade. Only by fulfilling these 2 conditions would one be qualified. And now, there was only one person who fulfilled these 2 conditions, and that was the second in command of the Supreme Sect. This person was also a peerless genius. Back then, he had the opportunity to be conferred the Tli of Saint. However, he gave up the position of saint and sided with the Supreme Saint. This caused a huge uproar back then. The 7 holy sons and holy virgins also frowned. The 8th saint was about to appear. Canonizing a son was a big deal. It meant that their time would be even greater. Furthermore, every additional son would have a huge impact on the current situation. Everyone was trying to guess who the Dragon Boats Mountain was going to confer upon as their saint. However, they didn't feel confident. Then, everyone's gazes fell on Dragon Boat Mountain, waiting for their answer. The dragon boats stood high in the sky and looked around. Their gaze finally landed on Lu Ming and they said loudly, "The Holy Son I'm going to confer on him is Lu Ming." As he said that, Dragon Boat Mountain pointed at Lu Ming. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Ming. Then, the entire place fell into a dead silence. Lu Ming was also dumbfounded. He had never expected that the new saint that Dragon Boat Mountain was going to confer upon him would actually be him. Initially, just like the others, he was curious to know who the newly conferred son was. He did not expect it to be him. For a moment, he couldn't quite wrap his head around it. "Lu Ming, this is a mission I'm giving you. You must accept the position of the Holy Son." Lu Ming heard the voice of the Dragon Boat Mountain. What the hell is this old man doing? Lu Ming finally calmed down slowly and his mind was racing. He didn't think that Dragon Boats Mountain had good intentions. This old fellow had placed the dark dragon blood curse in his body, so he definitely didn't have good intentions. "Lu Ming, you've become a saint." "Well, you're awesome, brother." Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were also dumbfounded and could not recover from their shock for a long time. "It's him. Is he the son that the sect master is going to confer on you?" Everyone stared at Lu Ming, dumbfounded. "The key is, who is he?" "Yeah, I've never seen him before." Many people shouted. After all, Lu Ming had only joined the Kongxian sect for a few decades, while many people would go into seclusion for hundreds or thousands of years. Most people had not seen Lu Ming before. "It's him. I know him. He just entered the sect decades ago." "What? He was conferred the Tli of Holy Son when he just entered the sect decades ago." "You must be joking." "Shush. Lower your voice. Be careful not to be heard by the sect master." "But how is this kid qualified to be the saint?" The scene was in an uproar. Lu Ming, a person who had just joined the sect a few decades ago, was actually conferred the Tli of Saint. What was going on? "It's this brat." The Tianhong Saint's son, the Transient Light Saint's son, and the others all glared at Lu Ming with sword-like eyes. "Sect master, this subordinate feels that this matter is inappropriate." At this moment, an old man walked out and cupped his fists towards the Dragon Boat Mountain. "What's wrong with it?" Dragon Boat Mountain said indifferently. "Lu Ming has only joined the sect for a few decades. His current cultivation base has only broken through to true God not long ago. No matter how you look at it, he doesn't have the right to confer the the Tli of a saint. The old man said. The elder was an inner elder and Ing Tsong's master. He was from the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction. Ing Tsong, the heaven's favorite who was ranked 4th on the virtual god ranking list, had been secretly taken in as a disciple by this person. Later on, he was killed by Lu Ming in the Dark Dragon's secret realm, and this person had always hated Lu Ming. Since Dragon Boat's Mountain wanted to confer Lu Ming the Tli of the Holy Sun, he naturally had to step out and oppose it. That's right, Sect Master, you must not do this. Following that, a few more inner court elders stepped forward to object. It was obvious that these inner elders all belonged to the factions of the Holy Sons and Holy Virgins. Are you all doubting me? Dragon Boat Mountain said indifferently, yet he had a terrifying might. The few inner court elders were shocked and quickly said, I'm not questioning you, Sect Master. It's just that the appointment of a saint is a big matter, after all. Sect Master should consider it carefully. That's right. The sect leader, Holy Son, and Holy Virgin are all peerless geniuses. Not everyone is suitable and qualified. The Tianhong Saint Sun stepped forward and bowed to the Dragon Boat Mountain. Tianhong is right. To become the Holy Son, 2 conditions must be met. First, one must master the divine grade divine power. Second, one must reach the heavenly god realm. Lu Ming is only at the true god realm. How can he be qualified to be the Holy Son? Sect leader, please retract your order. The sacred Son of Reflection also stepped out and cupped his fists. Dragon Boat Mountain frowned. In the Kong Xian sect, the status of the Holy Sons and Holy Virgins was even higher than that of the inner elders. The Holy Sons and Holy Virgins were all peerless geniuses. It wouldn't be a problem for them to step into the Divine King realm and become the overlord of a region. Their words would carry much more weight than the inner sect elders. After that, the Saint Sun Ji Xia, the Saint Sun Yen Kong, and the Saint Daughter Xue Tan all spoke, persuading the Dragon Boat Mountain to take back their orders. Only 2 of the 7 Holy Sons and Holy Virgins didn't speak. The first was the Supreme Holy Son. He only sized Lu Ming up curiously, his eyes glistening, but he did not say anything. Naturally, Ouyang Xiangxiang would not say much. She and Lu Ming were partners. If Lu Ming could become the saint, he would be of greater help to her. She hoped that Lu Ming would become the saint. Chapter 2787 Can even fight true gods. Lu Ming looked on quietly and did not say a word. He had been thinking about the purpose of Dragon Boat Mountain's actions. The Dragon Boat's intention was to push him into the eye of the storm and put pressure on him so that he could improve even faster and then work for him. Lu Ming felt that this was the most likely possibility. Are you guys doubting my judgment? Dragon Boat Mountain said indifferently, his voice turning cold. The Tianhong Saint Sun, the sacred Son of Reflection, and the others didn't say anything else, but their expressions said it all. They opposed it. All right, since that's the case, I'll give you a chance. Dragon Boat Mountain's gaze became incomparably sharp as he said, each of your major sects can send a true god stage expert to challenge Lu Ming. If anyone can defeat Lu Ming, I will retract my order and cancel the Tli. If no true god can defeat Lu Ming, then Lu Ming will become the new Holy Son. Do you have any objections? The Dragon Boat Mountain's words caused many people's hearts to tremble. All the true gods from the major sects could challenge Lu Ming. If they won, Lu Ming would not be able to become the saint. What is Lu Ming's cultivation level? Someone quickly asked. I've seen it. It's 3rd stage true god. Someone said. Those whose cultivation levels were much higher than Lu Ming's could still tell Lu Ming's cultivation level at a glance. What? Only at stage 3 true god realm? With such a low cultivation, any true god realm expert should be able to defeat him. That's right, it's strange. What does Sect Master mean by this condition? We definitely can't win against Lu Ming. Strange, this is strange. Many people were puzzled. Dragon Boat's Mountain seemed to want to confer Lu Ming the Tli of the Holy Sun. However, the conditions that they offered clearly showed that they did not want Lu Ming to be the Holy Sun. No one would think that a stage 3 true god could win against those true god geniuses from the 7 great factions. What a joke! Stage 3 real god was just a low-rank real god. How could he compete with those middle-rank and high-rank real gods? Especially when the 7 major sects had experts on the real god ranking list. Those existences could kill Lu Ming with one finger. There was no comparison at all. The eyes of the Tianhong Saint's son, the transient light Saint's son, and the others also lit up. Although they knew that Lu Ming's combat strength was very strong, there was a limit to it. He could not possibly be a match for those high-level true gods. From their point of view, Dragon Boat Mountain's actions were only to give them a way out. All right, I agree to this suggestion. I also agree. The Tianhong Saint's son and the transient light Saint's son immediately expressed their opinions. The other holy sons and holy virgins also agreed. Lu Ming, do you dare to accept my challenge? Dragon Boat Mountain's gaze landed on Lu Ming again. Why wouldn't I? Lu Ming said loudly. Since things had come to this, it was obvious that the Dragon Boat's Mountain wanted him to take over the position of the Holy Sun. He would take it then. Lu Ming was not someone who was afraid of trouble. Whoa, this guy really dares to accept the challenge. He's really not afraid of death. Even if he doesn't die, he'll be abused. There's a good show to watch. Many people sneered and looked like they were watching a good show. Lu Ming, good luck. I hope you can successfully become a saint. Yu Linglong waved her fists and cheered for Lu Ming. Brother Lu, you can definitely do it. Wu Zifeng also patted Lu Ming's shoulder. They had seen Lu Ming suppress Ouyang Qingxiang's 2 subordinates. They were extremely powerful. If Lu Ming were to take action, he might have a chance of winning. Sect Master, can we fight to the death in this battle? The Tianhong Saint's son said, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. Since you want to fight, then let's fight to the death. Dragon Boat Mountain said. Regardless of life and death, that meant that he could kill. This kid is finished. Many people looked at him with pity, thinking that Lu Ming was dead for sure. I'm going to fight this kid. A voice was heard. A young man from the Sacred Son of Floating Lights faction stepped down and landed on the fighting ring. It's Huang Wen. Huang Wen is about to make his move. Someone shouted. That's right, this person was Huang Wen. Huang Wen is at the 8th stage of True God realm. To deal with a mere 3rd stage True God, once he makes a move, he uses an 8th stage True God. This is also making a mountain out of a molehill. He's indeed making a mountain out of a molehill. However, I heard that Huang Wen has a grudge against Lu Ming. I guess that's why he took action. I see. He's trying to seize the opportunity to kill Lu Ming. Many people were discussing. Big brother, kill him for me, ha. In the crowd, Huang Wu roared in his heart as if he could already see the scene of Huang Wen killing Lu Ming. Boom. Huang Wen landed on the fighting ring. He exuded a powerful aura that pressed down on Lu Ming. Kid, how do you want to die? Speak. Huang Wen's cold voice sounded. He was full of confidence in himself. He was also a genius. Moreover, his cultivation had reached stage 8 True God. Dealing with a stage 3 True God was absolutely a matter of certainty. Unfortunately, he did not know that 2 of the Floating Light Saint's son's sect's elites had already died at Lu Ming's hands. He did not know that Le Zhong had also died at Lu Ming's hands. They only knew that Lu Ming had gone out for a while and returned safely. They did not know that those people had been killed by Lu Ming. They only thought that those people had not found Lu Ming. If he had known that Lu Ming had already killed those people, Huang Wen would not have been so confident. Talk too much. Make your move. I'll give you your last chance. Lu Ming said indifferently. Big words, storm fist. Huang Wen shouted coldly and threw a punch at Lu Ming. With a punch, a rumbling explosion came from the sky. It was like a huge wave that surged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression was calm. He condensed a long spear with divine power in his palm. 5 divine flames burned fiercely. Endless divine power gathered in the long spear and he swept it out. Boom, boom, boom. A giant spear light shot into the sky and collided with Huang Wen's 10,000 wave fist force, creating a deafening explosion. Following that, Huang Wen's fist force trembled continuously and was crushed by the spear radiance. Huang Wen's expression changed drastically as he retreated to the edge of the fighting ring before he stopped. Many people were dumbfounded, as if they had seen a ghost. This situation was completely different from what they had expected. They had expected Huang Wen to crush Lu Ming. However, they did not expect that Lu Ming would be able to push Huang Wen back with a single strike. How could the fighting power of a third-stage true god be strong to this extent? In it. Huang Wen roared in his heart. His expression was extremely gloomy. Lu Ming's combat strength had exceeded his expectations. Just this bit of strength? If you have any godly skills that you haven't used yet, use them quickly. This is your last chance. Lu Ming said indifferently, his face full of disdain. You're looking for death. I'll let you see my true strength, vast wave saber technique. Huang Wen roared. He took out a saber and charged at Lu Ming with all his might. With a slash, 10,000 layers of blade waves appeared in the void. They stacked on top of each other and headed toward Lu Ming. This was Huang Wen's trump card unique skill. Its power was extremely strong. When he executed it with his strength, ordinary stage 9 true god would be killed by him. Chapter 2788 Devil Curse, 3 Apocalyptic Strikes, Break the Sky. Lu Ming's combat strength doubled, and he used the first move of the 3 Apocalyptic Strikes, Sky Piercer. A ray of spear light shot up into the sky and was extremely bright. Bang, bang, bang. Huang Wen's 10,000 blade waves shattered one after another. In the end, the spear's light charged forward and clashed with the yellow text. In the next moment, all the energy fluctuations disappeared. The long spear in Lu Ming's hand also disappeared without a trace. Lu Ming landed on the fighting ring, his face expressionless. As for Huang Wen, his eyes were wide open in disbelief. Y hole appeared between his brows, and the front and back of the hole were bright. The light in his eyes quickly disappeared, and so did his life force. Plop. Huang Wen fell onto the fighting ring, no longer showing any signs of life. Huang Wen was dead. Most of the people present were dumbfounded. Huang Wen was actually killed by Lu Ming. This was beyond most people's expectations. A stage 3 true god actually counter-killed a stage 8 true god genius. This was also too exaggerated. Lu Ming is a freak. He's too abnormal. No wonder the sect master named him the Saint. His combat strength is so terrifying. Many people mumbled to themselves. They finally understood why Dragon Boat Mountain had conferred Lu Ming the title of Saint. Lu Ming was a freak. Without a doubt, the divine power he controlled was definitely divine grade or above. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to be so powerful. When he became a celestial god and a holy sun, it was a sure thing. In it. The floating light holy sun's eyes were cold. Huang Wen's death had caused him to lose a great general. Big brother. In the crowd, Huang Wu let out a mournful scream. His face was as pale as snow, and his face was filled with fear. In the outer sect of Kongxian sect, he could get whatever he wanted because of his big brother, Huang Wen. Now that Huang Wen was dead, who else could he rely on? He knew that his future days would be difficult. Clean up the fighting stage. Dragon Boat Mountain instructed, and immediately, someone went down to collect Huang Wen's corpse. Who else of you wants to fight? Lu Ming's gaze shifted to the people from the 7 major factions. Wing, go and kill him. The Tianhong Saint's son instructed a young man behind him. This kid won't live. A black-robed young man behind the great Hong Divine Son said coldly. He took a step forward and landed on the fighting ring. It's him, Wing. The Tianhong Saint's son sent this person directly. It looks like he's determined to win. Many people were slightly shocked. In the previous sect compet, 1. Tian Moing had displayed shocking power. Although he was not as good as the 8 top experts on the real god ranking list, he was not too far off. Mo Ying's cultivation was at stage 9 true god. Brat, your strength is indeed powerful. I'm indeed surprised that you could kill Huang Wen at the 3rd stage of true god realm. However, your life should end here. The specter said coldly. Huang Wen said the same thing before. Then he died. Lu Ming's simple reply made the specter's face sink. Don't compare me to that trash, kill. The specter shouted and charged toward Lu Ming. However, it suddenly disappeared when it was halfway there. A speed-type godly skill? No, this is a secret technique. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. A long spear appeared in his hand and he swept it in all directions. The spear radiance crushed over, but there was no trace of the demonic shadow. Suddenly, a sharp whistling sound came from behind Lu Ming. The specter was attacking him. The other party had unknowingly appeared behind Lu Ming. Get lost! Lu Ming shouted in a low voice and his divine power gushed out like a wave. With a wave of his hand, dozens of spear gleams pierced out in all directions. Clang! An explosion was heard in one of the directions, and a figure was sent flying. Hee, it's no use. The specter's figure flickered continuously. In an instant, hundreds of figures appeared on the fighting ring, circling Lu Ming. From time to time, a figure would rush toward Lu Ming, but he would always be repelled. You don't seem to be able to defeat me like this. Lu Ming sneered. Is that so? Suddenly, hundreds of figures stopped at the same time and gathered into one. My setup is complete. Lu Ming, go to Curse of the devil. The specter shouted coldly. A thick black aura emanated from his body. His hands kept forming seals. In the next moment, a burst of energy suddenly burst out from Lu Ming's body. This energy was extremely evil. He did not know when it had rushed into Lu Ming's body. At this moment, it exploded and formed pitch-black and menacing ghostly shadows. They roared in Lu Ming's body, wanting to devour his flesh and blood. The fiend shadow planted the fiend god ghost curse. This kid is dead for sure. The Tianhong Saint Sun sneered. The floating light Saint Sun, the Jixia Saint Sun, and the others all looked on coldly. Lu Ming. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng couldn't help but feel worried. Ah, Lu Ming, go to Xiao. The specter laughed wildly. No one in the true god realm would be able to break the curse. Even the experts on the real god ranking list would be in danger if they were planted. Was it planted during the collision? Lu Ming muttered. Previously, the other party had collided with him continuously. Every time they collided, Lu Ming could feel a weak wisp of energy rushing into his body. As the force was not strong, Lu Ming was not too concerned. Now that he thought about it, it must be the curse of the devil. This kind of devil god ghost curse was similar to the dark dragon blood curse cast by the Dragon Boat Mountain, but its power was 108,000 miles apart. My lord! Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He unleashed his ruler's divine power at full force and enveloped the demon god ghost curse. Chi and NBSP, the ghostly figures, were like ice that had met fire. They immediately began to sizzle and quickly melt. How could you? How did you break my devil curse? The specter suddenly cried out in disbelief. You're using such an insignificant skill to embark yourself? Lu Ming said indifferently. His body swayed as he cast the 9 heavenly Kun Peng technique and charged at the demonic shadow. Even if you break my devil curse, you can't kill me. The demonic shadow roared, his eyes filled with ferocity. He turned into many figures and filled the fighting ring. Is that so? Lu Ming's figure suddenly landed on the fighting ring. An extremely cold divine force spread out from his feet and covered the entire fighting ring in an instant, freezing it. In an instant, the fighting ring turned into a world of ice. Mo Ying's body suddenly froze. His feet were frozen, and the hundreds of figures on the fighting ring disappeared. This is cold divine power. How did this kid manage to cultivate cold divine power? Could it be that he has already cultivated the ultimate cold divine technique to its peak? But he's only been in the sect for a few decades. Many of the inner sect elders were shocked. The divine power that Lu Ming used previously was not the ultimate cold divine power. Could it be that Lu Ming had cultivated some kind of secret skill that concealed the elemental aura of the divine power? But even so, how could Lu Ming have cultivated the divine power of ultimate frost in just a few decades? Fighting an expert on real God ranking list. Don't tell me. Many people sized up the Dragon Boats Mountain and could not help but guess the relationship between Lu Ming and the Dragon Boats Mountain. Could it be that the Dragon Boats Mountain had already imparted the ultimate cold divine art to Lu Ming? Otherwise, they would never believe that Lu Ming could cultivate the ultimate cold divine technique to the peak in just a few decades. In the Kongshen sect, there were also people who had cultivated the ultimate cold divine technique to its peak and successfully cultivated the ultimate cold divine power. However, it required extremely high talent and a long time. However, they didn't know that Dragon Boat Mountain was also extremely shocked in its heart. This kid can actually control the divine power of extreme cold. Dragon Boat's heart trembled. He knew that the divine power that Lu Ming controlled was a dominator's divine power. Now, he was actually using the ultimate cold divine power. But the stronger this kid is, the more successful that plan will be. Dragon Boat Mountain's eyes flickered. On the fighting ring, Emoing was extremely frightened. He tried his best to burst out, trying to break free from the ice. However, would Lu Ming give him such a chance? Lu Ming moved and appeared in front of the specter. His cold eyes made the specter shiver and break out in cold sweat. I admit defeat, I admit defeat, the specter roared madly. Did I allow you to admit defeat? Lu Ming said indifferently. He thrust his spear forward and killed the specter. CSI. Many people gasped. The specter was dead. Huang Wen could not compare to Moing. His combat strength was very strong. It was already very obvious during the sect compet. One time. However, he had also died at the hands of Lu Ming. Lu Ming's ability was shocking. Lu Ming, you are courting death. At that moment, the Tianhong Saint's son was furious. His terrifying aura burst forth and pressed toward Lu Ming. He did not hide his cold killing intent. Tianhong, what are you doing? Nearby, Ouyang Qingxiang also released her aura to block the aura of the Tianhong Saint's son. What do I want to do? Didn't you see that the specter had already admitted defeat? He already admitted defeat, and this brat still killed him. He's simply too audacious. I'll kill him now. The Tianhong Saint's son said angrily. Hee, what a joke. Before the battle, they only said that it didn't matter whether you lived or died. They didn't say that you can't kill if you admit defeat. Lu Ming said indifferently. You quibble. The Tianhong Saint's son was furious. His body was filled with terrifying killing intent. However, Lu Ming was right. Before the battle, they did say that they would not kill anyone regardless of their life or death. They did not say that they could not kill anyone if they admitted defeat. All right, I'm done. At this moment, Dragon Boat Mountain waved his sleeves and said, it's true that we didn't say that we can't kill if we admit defeat. Let's explain it now. In the following battles, as long as we admit defeat, we must stop. The Tianhong Saint's son felt helpless when he heard the Dragon Boat Mountain's words. He could only cast a few cold glances at Lu Ming, and the killing intent in his eyes became even more intense. Saint, let me go and kill this brat. Another young man stepped out from behind the Tianhong Saint's son. The Tianhong Saint's son nodded and said, all right, let's end this quickly. Don't give that kid the chance to admit defeat. It was obvious that the Tianhong Saint's son was very confident in this young man. Don't worry, Saint. He won't have the chance to admit defeat. The young man said coldly. In a flash, he landed on the fighting ring. Sanguine Rain, it's Sanguine Rain who's about to attack. The young man's arrival on the fighting ring shocked many people. That was because Sanguine Rain was an expert on the Real God ranking list, one of the 8 experts on the Real God ranking list in Kongshen sect. He was also the strongest person in the Real God realm under the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction. Lu Ming is going to fight with Sanguine Rain. I wonder what the outcome will be? If Lu Ming can defeat Sanguine Rain, it would be a miracle. He would be listed on the True God ranking list as a Stage 3 True God. That's right. Sanguine Rain is ranked 87th on the Real God ranking list. However, the strength of his fighting power is not something that Mo Ing can compare to. Many people were looking forward to this battle. Many of them had already begun to guess the outcome of this battle. An expert on the Real God ranking list? Come on. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. Although he had seen the battles between experts on the real god ranking list before, watching and fighting personally were two different things. Buzz. All of a sudden Shui Ye's figure moved. However, his figure was not charging toward Lu Ming but to the sky. In midair, Sanguine Rain's body emitted a blood-red light. Blood Rain Barrier. Sanguine Rain let out a low roar. He pushed with both hands and a layer of blood-red light shield covered the entire fighting ring. The Sanguine Rain Barrier was a secret technique that Sanguine Rain cultivated. It was extremely powerful. He used his unique skill the moment he made his move, not giving Lu Ming a chance to retaliate. Kill! Sanguine Rain bellowed. In the Sanguine Rain enchantment, endless sanguine sword gleams suddenly appeared and slashed toward Lu Ming. What can a barrier do to me? Kill! Lu Ming let out a long howl and activated the 9-layer crimson gold armor. He cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Peng technique and soared into the sky. Rays of spear radiance burst out from his hands. Boom, boom, boom. The spear radiance and the blood-red sword radiance collided with each other continuously, causing a deafening boom. Why is my divine power so heavily consumed? Suddenly, Lu Ming frowned. He could feel his divine power being rapidly consumed. The same move was consuming his divine power much faster than before. Haha. Do you feel that your divine power is rapidly being consumed? Under the suppression of my barrier, your divine power will be exhausted after a few moves, and you'll be at my mercy. Sanguine Rain laughed triumphantly. Then, more sanguine sword gleams appeared and attacked Lu Ming. Is that so? Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. They wanted to exhaust his divine power? You must be joking. If it had been anyone else trapped in the blood rain barrier, they would have been in grave danger and their divine power would have been quickly exhausted. However, Lu Ming had the measure formula. Boom. Divine energy kept emerging from the quant formula. Lu Ming's divine energy was always at its peak. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon cutting. Lu Ming used the second move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes. The spear struck down and a crescent-shaped spear ray slashed out. Countless blood-red sword lights were destroyed, and the terrifying crescent-shaped spear light slashed toward the blood rain. Sanguine Rain's expression changed. In a flash, he appeared on the other side of the fighting ring, avoiding Lu Ming's attack. Within the blood rain enchantment, his speed was extremely fast. Such a powerful attack. Let's see how many moves you can use. Sanguine Rain snorted coldly. Is that so? I'll break your barrier first. Lu Ming's figure soared into the sky and blasted towards the barrier. Blood God Python kill. The blood rain howled and blood-red pythons appeared in the barrier. There were more than a dozen of them and each of them was hundreds of meters long. They charged at Lu Ming. Moon slaying. Lu Ming continued to use the moon slash and annihilated a blood-colored python with one move. However, there were more than 10 blood-colored pythons. Your divine power is about to be exhausted. Why burst out laughing? Lu Ming could not be bothered with the blood rain and continued to attack. Defeating another person, Lu Ming continued to launch attacks. Moon slaying, moon slaying, moon cutting. Lu Ming continued to cast the moon slash. One after another, the blood-colored pythons were destroyed. Soon, the dozens of blood pythons all disappeared. At this moment, the smugness on Sanguine Rain's face had completely disappeared and was replaced by shock, confusion, and disbelief. How is that possible? How can his Shun power not be exhausted? Sanguine Rain muttered to himself. Lu Ming's attack was shockingly powerful. It was definitely a unique skill. Such a move usually consumed a lot of divine power. Even if he was outside, Lu Ming could not use it continuously. Furthermore, in his Sanguine Rain barrier, the speed of divine power consumption was several times faster than the outside due to the suppression of the barrier. Logically speaking, Lu Ming's divine power should have been exhausted. But why was Lu Ming still so lively? Sanguine Rain was already dumbfounded. Boom! Lu Ming broke through the blood python's encirclement and finally struck the Sanguine Rain barrier. The blood rain enchantment shook violently, but it didn't break. I don't believe it again. Lu Ming continued to attack, his long spear constantly blasting out. Boom, boom. The blood rain enchantment kept shaking as if it was going to be broken at any time, but it managed to block it every time. Lu Ming, with your cultivation, you can't break my barrier. You'll be beaten up passively. I don't believe that your divine power is endless. Even if I have to exhaust you, I'll exhaust you to death. Seeing that Lu Ming did not blast the Sanguine Rain barrier open, Sanguine Rain laughed and finally felt relieved. As long as Lu Ming could not break the Sanguine Rain barrier, he would be exhausted to death sooner or later. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. More blood-colored sword gleams and blood-colored pythons appeared in the blood rain enchantment and charged towards Lu Ming. Just a little bit more, then 4 times the combat power. Lu Ming's eyes gleamed as he activated his 4-fold combat strength. At the same time, he swept his long spear to block the attacks of the blood-red sword gleam and blood-red python. Lu Ming is in a passive position, that's right, but his strength is really shocking. He's been trapped in the blood rain barrier for so long and still has such battle power. It's really terrifying. Indeed, Sanguine Rain is no match for him in a head-on collision. What a monster! Unfortunately, his attack power is still unable to break the Sanguine Rain barrier. He will eventually be defeated by Sanguine Rain. It's a bit of a pity. In the Sanguine Rain enchantment, as long as the enchantment could not be broken, the Sanguine Rain could take the initiative and stand in an invincible position, exhausting the opponent to death. Many people felt that Lu Ming's fate was sealed since he could not break the Sanguine Rain enchantment. He would lose without a doubt. Kill, kill, kill. Sanguine Rain's body continued to burst with blood-red divine power, raising the power of the Sanguine Rain barrier to its peak. Countless blood-red sword cheese and blood-red pythons charged towards Lu Ming. At this moment, a low rumble came from Lu Ming's body. The fighting spirit in his body suddenly increased. The battle formula had been successfully activated. Moon slaying. Lu Ming let out a long howl and cast the moon-cutting move again. However, the power this time was much stronger than before. Bang, bang, bang. A crescent-shaped attack burst out, and all the blood-red sword light and blood-red pythons were destroyed. Break! After Lu Ming destroyed the blood-red sword gleam and the blood-red python, he swept his long spear out again. This time, it was aimed directly at the blood barrier. Boom! There was a violent explosion. Then, the blood rain enchantment was pierced through, split into 2, and exploded. How is that possible? Sanguine Rain roared in shock. It was simply unbelievable. Lu Ming clearly could not break the Sanguine Rain barrier earlier. How did he manage to do it again in the blink of an eye? Could it be that Lu Ming had been hiding his abilities? Not good. Retreat, retreat. Reacting, Sanguine Rain's figure retreated frantically. However, how could Lu Ming allow him to retreat? He cast the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique. In a flash, he quickly chased after the blood rain and attacked with the moon-cutting technique. The Sanguine Rain enchantment shattered and was no longer within the enchantment. The speed of the Sanguine Rain had been reduced by many times. It could not compare to Lu Ming at all and could not avoid Lu Ming's attacks. It could only resist with all its might. A blood-red armor appeared on his body, covering his entire body. Then, a sword appeared in his hands, and he slashed out. Clang! Lu Ming's attack landed on Sanguine Rain's combat sword. Sanguine Rain's combat sword trembled violently and finally exploded with a bang. This was a middle-grade divine artifact, but it was shattered by Lu Ming. Sanguine Rain's figure retreated rapidly and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. He was severely injured. I admit defeat, I admit defeat. Just as Lu Ming was about to launch another attack and kill Sanguine Rain in one fell swoop, Sanguine Rain hurriedly shouted. He felt that he would definitely not be able to withstand Lu Ming's next move. When the next move was unleashed, he would die. If he did not admit defeat now, when would he? Sanguine Rain admitted defeat and Lu Ming had no choice but to stop. Sanguine Rain quickly retreated from the fighting ring, blood still spurting out of his mouth. A deep wound appeared on his chest. Even his armor had cracked, and his bones could be seen. This was all thanks to Lu Ming's move just now. Sanguine Rain has lost. My god, stage 3 true god actually defeated an expert on the real god ranking list. This is too heaven-defying. Many people gasped in shock. The Tianhong Saint's son, the Transient Light Saint's son, and the others were also shocked. They looked terrified. Lu Ming was too heaven-defying. In a few more years, they would have nothing to do with the Kongxian sect. Even the Supreme Holy Sun, who had been calm all this time, became extremely serious. Amazing. Lu Ming is too amazing. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng muttered to themselves. Boss is mighty. In the crowd, An Hai, Lu Chang, and a few others were also watching. At that moment, their eyes were shining, and they were abnormally excited. They had already submitted to Lu Ming. The stronger Lu Ming was, the happier they would be. As for the outer sect disciples, they were all dumbfounded. Some people looked down on Lu Ming when he first joined the sect. However, they were not even fit to carry his shoes now. Moreover, only a few decades had passed, said. Are there any more battles? Hurry up and come down. Lu Ming stood on the fighting ring and shouted. At this moment, his combat strength was at its peak, and he didn't want to waste any time. Everyone looked at each other. The Tianhong Saint's son, the Transient Light Saint's son, and the others all looked gloomy. Shui Yu was the strongest true god in the Tianhong Saint's son's faction. He had no one else to send. The Sacred Son of Reflection and the others had some subordinates, but they were not confident that they could defeat Lu Ming. Just now, Lu Ming had completely crushed Sanguine Rain after the battle. Therefore, no one made a move for a while. Was Lu Ming really going to become the 8th saint of Kongxian sect today? Many people had such thoughts. Long Xian, you can make your move. At this moment, a majestic voice rang out. It was the Supreme Holy Sun. Chapter 2791 Scorpion Tail's secret technique. The Supreme Holy Sun's voice rang out, causing many people's hearts to race. The Supreme Saint was going to send someone to attack, and he was actually going to send Long Xian. Long Xian was the #1 true god stage expert under the Supreme Holy Sun. He was also the #1 true god stage expert in Kongxian sect and was ranked 6th on the true god ranking list. The Supreme Holy Sun was actually going to send out Long Xian. The eyes of the Tianhong Saint's son, the Sacred Son of Reflection, and the others lit up. Yes, Saint. Behind the Supreme Holy Sun, a thin young man in a black robe nodded. His figure flashed and he appeared on the fighting ring. Long Xian is about to make his move. There's going to be a good show. Many people revealed looks of antic. 1. Asian. They all wanted to know if the dragon barrier could stop Lu Ming's winning streak. There was no doubt about Long Xian's power. He was ranked 6th on Real God ranking list, and he was definitely far above Shui Yu. Shui Yu was merely ranked 87th on Real God ranking list. They'll give you some time to rest and recover. Long Xian looked at Lu Ming and spoke indifferently. Even though Lu Ming had displayed shocking strength, he still had great confidence in himself. No, let's fight now. Lu Ming said. It seems that you are very confident. In that case, don't say that I took advantage of you. Be careful. Long Xian reminded him as a pitch-black spear appeared in his hand. Long Xian's weapon was also a spear. Bang! Long Xian stomped on the ground heavily. His body was like a stream of light as he charged toward Lu Ming. A black spear ray shot out like a shooting star toward Lu Ming. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. Lu Ming also thrust his spear. Boom! The 2 spear lights collided in the void, creating a shocking boom and setting off a violent airflow that scattered in all directions. At the same time, the 2 figures floated back. The collision this time was a tie. Sacred Grade Divine Power. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The divine power that Long Xian controlled was Divine Grade Divine Power. This person's cultivation had already reached the peak of the true God realm, and he was only 1 step away from the celestial God realm. As long as he entered the celestial God realm, he would be qualified to become the next saint. There was no need to doubt his combat strength. If not for the fact that Lu Ming had cultivated the universal myriad Dao mantra, had 5 divine flames in his body, and had extremely powerful divine energy, he would not have been able to fight against Long Xian with only one kind of ruler's strength and such a huge difference in cultivation. Even now, Lu Ming's combat power was 4 times stronger after activating the battle character formula. They were equally matched in the collision just now. Amazing, really amazing. 3rd stage True God actually has such combat power. This is still the first time I've seen it. Again. Long Xian's eyes were filled with surprise as he charged toward Lu Ming again. This time, the power he used was even stronger. His attack skill has already reached the peak of the 5th level. Lu Ming's gaze was solemn. Long Xian's offensive divine skill had already reached the peak of the 5th level. It was 1 level higher than Lu Ming's divine skill. Fortunately, Lu Ming had the support of the battle character formula. Any divine skill that he used would be much more powerful. Otherwise, it would be difficult to resist. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon cutting. Lu Ming held the spear with both hands and swung it down with all his might. A crescent-shaped spear gleam slashed at Long Xian. Boom! The 2 of them clashed for the 2nd time, but this time, it was still difficult to determine the winner. Amazing again! Long Xian let out a long roar and continued to charge at Lu Ming. Lu Ming also exerted his strength to the extreme. The divine power of 5 divine flames, 4 times the combat power of the battle character formula, and an exceptionally powerful divine body. Every trace of power was used to fight Long Xian. The 2 of them fought intensely on the fighting ring and exchanged more than 100 moves. Lu Ming did not cast the ice chain because he knew that Long Xian had a secret skill that he had not cast as well. He had seen it during the sect compet. 1 time. All of a sudden, a pitch-black ray of light burst out from Long Xian's body and shot toward Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. They're here! Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. At this moment he was highly focused. With a single thought, an ice chain flew out and flew toward the black light. Now, the ice chain collided with the black light and a clang was heard. However, Lu Ming's expression changed as the ice chain shattered during the collision. The ice chains could not stop the black light at all. After the black light broke the ice chains, it continued to stab toward Lu Ming at an alarming speed. Lu Ming could clearly see that it was a scorpion's tail. There was a black thorn at the tip of the tail. It was black and shiny, extremely terrifying. This was the secret technique of Dragon Peril. Bang! The scorpion tail was too fast and it hit Lu Ming in the next moment. The 9-layer crimson gold armor on Lu Ming's body shook violently. It could not withstand the attack and was pierced through. Lu Ming executed the 9 heavenly Kuan Peng technique and retreated rapidly. However, he was still a step too late. He felt a sharp pain in his body. His shoulder had been struck, and a small hole had appeared. Blood was flowing out. Lu Ming flew all the way to the edge of the fighting ring before he stopped. What a powerful secret technique! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Long Xian's scorpion tail secret technique had an astonishing offensive power. It was not that Lu Ming's ice chain was inferior to his opponent's. It was just that Lu Ming's current cultivation level was too weak. The secret skill would become more powerful as the cultivator's cultivation level increased. If Lu Ming's cultivation reached the 9th stage True God realm, the power of the ice shackles would naturally be extremely shocking. Interesting. There aren't many True God realm experts who can take one of my attacks without being injured. Long Xian's voice was heard. Before he could finish his sentence, he was already charging towards Lu Ming. The scorpion tail on his body turned into a bolt of black lightning and stabbed at Lu Ming. Ice chains. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and a few ice chains flew out at once. This time, Lu Ming used 3 ice chains in total. The 3 ice chains were like 3 silver snakes as they flew towards the enemy. Ding, 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 ding. There were 3 consecutive sounds of collision. This time, Lu Ming finally managed to block the scorpion tail attack. He actually blocked it. That's a secret technique, ice chain. Some people recognized Lu Ming's secret skill. Such a secret skill was available in the Sutra library. Anyone could exchange for it as long as they had points. 3rd stage True God, The power of the ice shackles is already so strong. This is already grand completion. An inner court elder sighed. How does he cultivate? If he wants to cultivate the ice shackles to the large success stage, the cold moonstone is the best choice. Could it be that he has obtained several cold moonstones? How is that possible? The other inner court elder was even more envious. This was because he had also cultivated the ice shackles. However, he had cultivated it for many years and had not achieved great success because he did not have the suitable materials. On the fighting ring, the intense battle between Lu Ming and Long Xian continued. The scorpion tail and the ice chains kept colliding. The long spears in their hands also kept clashing. However, they were still evenly matched. I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You're the first one to force me to use my ultimate move, Kong Xian Sect. Long Xian's voice resounded. In the next moment, another black light burst out from his body. Chapter 2792 Becoming a Holy Sun. A black light burst out from Long Xian's body like lightning. Another scorpion tail. The Dragon's Bane's secret technique was actually somewhat similar to the ice chain. It could be used with more than just a scorpion tail. In the previous sect compet 1. Tian, Long Xian had only used one scorpion tail to end the battle. No one knew that Long Xian could actually use a second one. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Fortunately, Lu Ming had held back. He did not use the full power of the ice chain. Ice chain go! Lu Ming waved his hand and 3 more ice chains flew out. A few consecutive clashing sounds were heard and they successfully blocked the scorpion tail. You've actually reached the level of mastery in all 6 of the frozen shackles. This time, Long Xian himself was shocked. You're already surprised. Let's continue. Lu Ming waved his hand again and 9 ice chains appeared on his body. They flew out and wrapped around Long Xian. 9. Long Xian's pupils contracted and he let out a low growl. His body emitted a black light and another scorpion tail flew out from his body. 3 scorpion tails. Long Xian had actually cultivated 3 scorpion tails. The 3 scorpion tails and the 9 ice chains kept clashing. Clang, clang. A dense collision sound rang out, and in an instant, the two had exchanged more than 100 moves. So powerful! These two are both monsters. Long Xian is a monster, but Lu Ming is even more of a monster. Lu Ming and Long Xian had revealed their trump cards, shocking the audience. Even the inner sect elders could not remain calm. On the fighting ring, 2 figures were constantly flashing, constantly colliding and fighting fiercely. Those with weaker cultivations couldn't even see the 2 of them clearly. Not long after, the 2 of them exchanged hundreds of moves before they separated and stood on different sides of the fighting ring. The crowd was curious and looked at the 2 of them carefully. Look, Long Xian's aura is even weaker. His body is covered in a layer of frost. Someone exclaimed. Everyone looked over and saw that Long Xian's body was covered in a layer of frost. Even his hair and eyebrows were covered in a layer of frost. I've lost. At this moment, Long Xian spoke up and actually admitted defeat. He looked at the 9 flying ice chains behind Lu Ming with a deep fear. One of the ice chains, in particular, emitted a shocking amount of cold air. After the continuous collisions, he felt that the blood in his body was about to freeze. He needed to divert a large amount of divine power to resist the cold air. If the battle continued, he would definitely not be Lu Ming's match. What? Long Xian admits defeat. Lu Ming has won. Long Xian's admission of defeat caused an uproar in the crowd. This result was truly beyond everyone's expectations. Previously, many people looked down on Lu Ming. They thought that Lu Ming, who was a 3rd-stage true god, would be crushed in minutes. But now, even Long Xian, who was ranked 6th on the real god ranking list, was not Lu Ming's match. Was Lu Ming still human? If you manage to cultivate the 4th scorpion tail, I will definitely not be your opponent. Lu Ming replied politely. Long Xian's strength was truly shocking. Lu Ming had already given it his all, but he still did not have much of an advantage. He had to rely on the terrifying cold chi in the ninth ice chain to suppress Long Xian a little. If the other party had a fourth scorpion tail, Lu Ming would not be a match for it. This battle made Lu Ming understand that he could not underestimate the heroes of the world. There were countless divine techniques and secret skills in the universe. It was normal for some extremely powerful freaks to be born. A loss is a loss. Besides, it's not easy to cultivate a fourth scorpion tail. I'm convinced of my loss. Long Xian was an open and honest man. After cupping his fists, he left the fighting ring. Do you guys still want to fight? Lu Ming scanned his surroundings again, but there was no response. What a joke. Long Xian had been defeated. Who else in the true god level could fight Lu Ming? If he went up, he would definitely be defeated. Is there anyone else who wants to go up and fight? The Dragon Boat Mountain asked. Still, no one answered. All right, since no one is willing to accept the challenge, Lu Ming is officially the saint as per our agreement. Dragon Boat Mountain announced. The Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, and the others all looked extremely gloomy. The Tianhong Saint Sun and the Sacred Sun of Reflection had suffered a double loss. They had each lost a genius. This is just the beginning. It's not that easy to secure the position of the saint. The Tianhong Saint Sun snorted. Congratulations, congratulations. Congratulations, Holy Sun Lu Ming. Seeing that the Dragon Boat Mountain had already made the announcement, some of the inner sect elders cupped their fists and congratulated Lu Ming. Of course, there were also some inner elders who looked gloomy and didn't say anything, like Ying Tsong's master. Seniors, you are too polite. Lu Ming could only give a fist salute in response. In truth, he really didn't care much for this saint child. However, the Dragon Boat Mountain had forced him to do so, and he had been cursed with the dark dragon blood curse. He could only obediently listen to their orders. Alright, this matter ends here. This year's compet. 1. Tie-in is officially over, the Dragon Boat Mountain announced and turned to leave. Before he left, he cast a glance at Lu Ming. Lu Ming could clearly see that the Dragon Boat Mountain's eyes were filled with antic. 1. Asian and a terrifying ferocity. This old man, what is he planning? Lu Ming furrowed his eyebrows tightly. After Dragon Boat Mountain left, the inner sect elders also left one after another. Lu Ming, no, Holy Sun Lu Ming, congratulations, congratulations. Yu Linglong immediately came up to congratulate him with a smile. Brother Lu, congratulations. Wu Zifeng also cupped his fists and congratulated. You guys don't have to congratulate me. I don't want to be the saint yet. Lu Ming said helplessly. When the other disciples heard this, they were filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. They wished they could stomp on Lu Ming a few times. They didn't want to be the saint, but they didn't. It was too infuriating. It's too early to be happy. A cold voice was heard. The Tianhong Saint Sun walked over with his people. Tianhong, what are you doing? Ouyang Qingxiang also brought people over to confront the Tianhong Saint Sun. Don't worry, I won't make a move. The Tianhong Saint Sun glanced at Ouyang Qingxiang and then at Lu Ming. To become a saint, you have to establish your own faction and expand the strength of your faction. Only then can you partake. 1. 8 in the compet. 1. Tie-in for the position of sect leader. The Tianhong Saint Sun then looked around and said, I, Tianhong, hereby declare that whoever joins Lu Ming's faction will be my enemy. A threat? A blatant threat. The Tianhong Saint Sun was threatening everyone. Anyone who joined Lu Ming's faction would be his enemy. One could imagine the consequences of making an enemy of the Tianhong Saint Sun. Tianhong, don't you think you're being too despicable by doing this? Ouyang Qingxiang coldly replied. Holy Sons, 3. What do you mean by despicable? In this world, there is only the winner takes all. How can you call it despicable? The Tianhong Saint Sun sneered and didn't take it seriously. That's right, Tianhong's meaning is also my meaning. At that moment, another voice was heard. The Sacred Sun of Reflection had also walked over. His voice reverberated throughout the area. I, floating light, Also declare that whoever joins Lu Ming's faction will be my enemy." The two saints' words silenced the crowd. Initially, there were some neutral people who did not join any factions. However, after seeing Lu Ming's amazing talent, they were already tempted to join him. However, at this moment, they were all hesitating. If they joined Lu Ming's sect, they would have to face the retaliation of the Sacred Sun of Reflection and the Tianhong Sacred Sun. Could they bear the risk? Many people secretly shook their heads and gave up on the idea of joining Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation base was still too weak. Although he was invincible among true gods could not be compared to celestial gods. True gods were unrivaled. Even heavenly gods were no match for them, let alone top geniuses like the Tianhong Saint Sun and the Sacred Sun of Reflection. I, Jixia, also have the same intention. I, Xuetan, am the same. Then, the Jixia Saint Sun and the Xuetan Saint Daughter stepped forward one after another, expressing the same thoughts as the Tianhong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun. Lu Ming's talent was too strong and it made them feel great pressure. He must not let Lu Ming grow. The best way was to suppress him before he grew up. Without the support of the others, no matter how strong Lu Ming's cultivation was, it would be difficult for him to become the sect leader of Kongxian sect. After 4 consecutive statements from the Holy Sons and Holy Virgins, those who wanted to join Lu Ming's faction had completely given up on the idea. These fellows. Lu Ming glanced at the Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, and the others with a cold glint in his eyes. Although he did not care about the position of the saint and did not want to be the sect leader of the Kongxian sect in the future, he was still a saint. However, it was not Lu Ming's style to not resist when he was being bullied. Now, if there's anyone who wants to join my faction, I, Lu Ming, swear that I'll treat you with sincerity and entrust you with important tasks. If you want to join my faction, you can come and sign up. Lu Ming's voice was heard by everyone. Many people were tempted. If they joined Lu Ming now, they would definitely be put in an important position and be entrusted with important tasks. Moreover, if Lu Ming were to develop further, the people who join now would definitely be his trusted aides. However, if they join now, they would be going against the Tianhong Saint Sun and the others. They would be courting death. In the end, many people shook their heads and dispelled the idea. Lu Ming, I'll join your faction. Yu Linglong walked out and glared at the Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, and the others. The Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, and the others' faces darkened. However, they knew that Yu Linglong's background was extraordinary, so they naturally wouldn't say anything. I'll join too. Wu Zifeng also ran over to join in the fun. However, other than the two of them, no one else stepped forward. Hee. The Tianhong Saint Sun was about to sneer and mock him, but he was interrupted. I'll join, a deep voice was heard, and Hai walked out of the crowd and flew toward Lu Ming. The Tianhong Saint Sun's sneer was stuck in his throat. His face was extremely ugly as he looked at Hai with a cold gaze. Hai's expression changed when he was met with the Tianhong Saint Sun's gaze. He felt immense pressure, but he gritted his teeth and went to Lu Ming. "Boss, I want to join your faction." "All right." Lu Ming nodded. He quite agreed with the big guy in Hai. Who is this kid? He has the guts to join Lu Ming's faction. Does he want to die? Someone muttered. The Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, the Jixia Saint Sun, and the Xuetan Saintess had just said that joining Lu Ming's faction would be going against them. They had just finished their words when Hai jumped out and joined Lu Ming. This was like a slap to their faces in public. If this wasn't seeking death, what was? "Lu Chang, Zhao Feng, what are you two doing? Hurry up and join the boss faction." And NBSP and Hai looked at Lu Chang and Zhao Feng. Lu Chang's and Zhao Feng's faces were white as snow, and their eyes were filled with struggle and hesitation. In the end, the two of them gritted their teeth and walked out, saying, "We're willing to join Lu Ming's faction. Holy Son Lu Ming, please fulfill our wish." Back then, they had all sworn on their life source to pledge their allegiance to Lu Ming. Now, they could only bite the bullet and do it. "All right, I agree to let you join." Lu Ming nodded. The expressions of the Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, and the others turned even colder. Their eyes were filled with killing intent as they kept glancing at Hai and the others, causing them to break out in cold sweat. Good, you three, very good. The Tianhong Saint's son glanced at Hai and the other two and said, okay, several times. Then he waved his sleeves and turned to leave. The Floating Light Saint's son, Ji Xia Saint's son, and Shui Tan Saint daughter didn't say anything. They all turned and left. In the end, apart from Hai, Lu Chang, Zhao Feng, and a few others, no one else joined Lu Ming's faction. However, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. No one was joining now, but that didn't mean that there wouldn't be in the future. It was still uncertain who would have the last laugh. Let's go. Lu Ming did not stay. He turned and left, followed by Hai and the rest. The Kong Xian sect compet. 1. Tian had just ended. Lu Ming's name had shaken the Kong Xian sect from then on, and even spread to other sections. On the way, Lu Ming gave Hai, Lu Chang, Zhao Feng, and the others some resources and told them to cultivate properly when they returned. Lu Ming would not mistreat anyone who had joined him under the pressure of the Tianhong Saint's son and the others. After that, Lu Ming returned to his residence alone and cultivated in peace. Could it be that this little fellow is about to evolve? He had only been back for 2 days when Qiuqiu started to change. It flew out of Lu Ming's wrist and landed in the courtyard, turning into a metal ball. Lu Ming could feel a terrifying aura lurking inside, as if it was going to explode at any time. On Qiuqiu's surface, arcs of lightning appeared. Ever since Qiuqiu bit off a piece of bronze from the Bronze Gate a few years ago on the ancient god star, it had been in a deep sleep. It seemed to be digesting that piece of bronze, and it was only now that there were changes. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. The bronze door that had appeared on the ancient god's star must have had an astonishing origin. Even many divine kings could not break it open, so it was obvious. Lu Ming could not tell what kind of changes Qiuqiu would undergo after it digested the bronze. Someone's coming. At this moment, Lu Ming's gaze flickered and he walked out of the courtyard's entrance. A figure landed in front of Lu Ming. It was an old man with white hair and a white beard. Greetings, elder. Lu Ming cupped his fists. He could tell that the old man was an inner sect elder from his attire. Holy son Lu Ming, you're too kind. The old man didn't dare to be slow and quickly returned the greeting. Supreme profound divine technique in the Kong Xian sect, the status of a saint was even higher than that of an inner sect elder, so the elder did not dare to be careless. Elder, why are you looking for me today? Lu Ming asked. I'm here today to give the Holy Sun's Holy Sun token to Holy Sun Lu Ming. The old man smiled, took out a jade box and handed it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took the jade box and opened it, only to discover that it was a token. This token was very similar to their disciple's token, but the material was completely different. The token was made of the extremely rare star sky gold. Stardust sky gold was a precious material that could be used to refine supreme-grade divine artifacts. What was a supreme-grade divine weapon? It was a divine weapon used by divine kings. From this, one could see how precious this token was. Saint, you just need to drip a drop of blood on it and this token will be bound to you. The old man said. Lu Ming understands. Thank you, elder. Lu Ming nodded. The old man nodded secretly. He was quite satisfied with Lu Ming's attitude. The other holy sons and holy virgins were all extremely arrogant. When they saw their inner sect elders, they would also act high and mighty. Lu Ming's humble attitude had left a good impression on him. It's a pity that his cultivation is still too low. I don't know if he'll have a bright future if he's competing with the Tianhong Saint's son and the sacred son of reflection. I can consider joining his faction when his cultivation is higher. The old man thought to himself. Holy son Lu Ming, there's one more thing. You can choose any divine grade technique you want to cultivate in the scripture's depository. However, you've already mastered the divine grade divine power, so you won't be able to use the divine grade technique. The old man reminded him again before taking his leave. He did not know that Lu Ming was overjoyed. The Son of God could freely choose a divine grade technique to cultivate. It would be strange if Lu Ming did not like it. This meant that he could cultivate another divine-grade divine power. For other people who had cultivated divine-grade divine power, the other divine-grade techniques were naturally of little use. However, Lu Ming was different. He had the universe Thousand Dao Scroll. The more divine techniques he had, the better. Don't be a fool. Lu Ming smiled and returned to the courtyard. He realized that Qiu was still evolving. Lu Ming left the courtyard immediately and went to the scripture chamber. The scripture chamber was still guarded by the old men. Little guy, you're here again. What kind of divine skill or secret skill do you want to exchange this time? One of the old men asked with a smile. In the past, Lu Ming had exchanged for several king-grade divine skills and techniques. He had also exchanged for the secret technique, the frost technique. He had even spent 50,000 points to exchange for the first stage of the ultimate frost divine technique. Therefore, the elders had a deep impression of Lu Ming. Seniors, I've come to receive a divine art this time. Lu Ming smiled. What? To receive the divine grade technique? The elders' eyes widened in disbelief. Little fellow, you can't joke about this. It's not that easy to obtain a saint-grade divine art. One of the old men stopped smiling and said, in order to receive the complete divine grade technique, one had to either be promoted to a holy son, or be extremely talented, and be recognized by the higher-ups of the sect. Only then could one receive the complete divine grade technique. Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the third stage of true God realm. It was impossible for him to be a holy son. They had ruled out this point. Could it be that he had been appreciated by the higher-ups of the sect and had come here to receive a saint-grade divine art? The few elders thought so. Yes, I've just been promoted to the saint. This is my saint token. Lu Ming took out the saint token and handed it to the elders. Oh, I see. What? The saint? The few old men didn't react in the beginning, but when they finally reacted, they almost jumped out of their seats. Lu Ming was actually a saint who had just been promoted? Third stage true God actually became a holy son. This greatly exceeded their expectations. An elder took the holy son token from Lu Ming's hand in bewilderment. After checking it, he realized that there was no mistake. Little fellow, you're really a weirdo. In the end, the few elders came to a conclusion. Since you're the saint, you'll naturally be able to obtain a complete set of divine grade techniques. Which one do you want? I remember that you exchanged for the first stage of the ultimate cold divine technique. You want the ultimate cold divine technique, right? An old man took a deep breath to calm himself down and smiled. From his point of view, since Lu Ming had already exchanged for the first stage of the ultimate cold divine technique, he would definitely exchange for the complete ultimate cold divine technique this time. Otherwise, wouldn't the 50,000 points he had spent previously be in vain? He speculated that Lu Ming was most likely confident that he would become a saint and obtain the complete divine art. That was why he had exchanged for the first level in advance and cultivated it for a while. Senior, I want the great profound divine technique, Lu Ming said. There were a few divine skills and techniques in the Kongxian sect, and the Taishan divine technique was one of them. What? You want the great profound divine technique? The elders were stunned again. In the past, Lu Ming had clearly exchanged for the first stage of the ultimate frost divine technique. Why did he want to exchange for the mysterious divine technique now? Little guy, I remember that you exchanged for the first stage of the ultimate cold divine technique. How did you exchange for the mysterious divine technique now? You have to consider it carefully. An old man kindly reminded. Senior, I've already considered it. Lu Ming said. All right then, wait a moment, I'll be right back. An old man said as he stepped into the scripture chamber. Not long after, the elder took out a scroll and said it to Lu Ming. Little guy, the complete great profound divine technique is recorded inside. Take it, but I have to remind you that without the approval of the sect, you must not teach it to others. Do you understand? The old man said. This junior understands. Many thanks, senior. Lu Ming bowed and took the scroll. His heart was burning with passion. He immediately bade farewell to the few elders and returned to his residence. I'm getting old. I really can't understand the young people nowadays. The few elders sighed repeatedly. They could not see through Lu Ming at all. In their eyes, a young man seemed to be a little unfathomable. Lu Ming returned to his residence. Chiu was still evolving. Lu Ming sat on the ground and took out the Great Mystery Divine Technique to read it in detail. Lu Ming did not need the complete Tai Xian Divine Technique. He only needed the first stage. As long as he cultivated the first stage, he would be able to condense a flame of Tai Xian divine power. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. For the past month, Lu Ming had been focused on cultivating the great profound divine technique. He had finally cultivated to the first stage and successfully cultivated a wisp of great profound divine power. After cultivating a wisp of the mysterious divine energy, Lu Ming switched to the Universe Thousand Tao mantra. As time passed, the wisp of mysterious divine energy continued to grow. A few months passed, in a hurry. A light spot suddenly appeared in Lu Ming's dantian. All the mysterious divine energy gathered towards this light spot. The light spot became more and more dazzling. Chapter 2795 Chiu's evolution in Lu Ming's dantian. A spot of light grew brighter and brighter. In the end, a flame appeared. The fire of the mysterious divine power had been successfully condensed. The sixth divine fire appeared in Lu Ming's dantian. Of course, this divine fire had just been formed and was still very weak. If he wanted to raise it to the same size as the other divine fires, he would still need to cultivate diligently for a period of time. This could not be rushed. Lu Ming stopped cultivating at this point. He began to practice the divine skill, the 3 apocalyptic strikes. That was because after the series of battles, Lu Ming felt that the 3 apocalyptic strikes were about to break through. Lu Ming took out a long spear and started to cultivate in the courtyard. Bush, bush, bush. The long spear danced in the air like a real dragon swimming in the courtyard. However, all of the power was condensed into the long spear, and not a single bit of it leaked out. Sky-breaking, moon-cutting, Lu Ming cast the first and second moves of the 3 apocalyptic strikes over and over again, taking turns. Gradually, Lu Ming's understanding of the 3 apocalyptic strikes reached a peak. After a few days, Lu Ming shook the long spear and it streaked across the sky. A crescent-shaped spear light flew into the sky and disappeared. I've broken through. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely bright. Lu Ming had finally broken through to the 5th stage of the 3 apocalyptic strikes. After breaking through to the 5th level, whether it was the first form, sky-piercing, or the second form, moon-cutting, the power had increased by a level. Lu Ming was only at stage 3 True God Realm. It was absolutely shocking that he could cultivate his divine skill to stage 5 at this cultivation level. For example, Lu Zhong's cultivation base was at the peak of True God Realm. He had been stuck in the True God Realm for countless years, but he had only cultivated his divine skill to the peak of stage 4. People who didn't have enough talent at the True God Realm most likely could only cultivate to the 4th stage of the divine skill. Only a few extremely talented experts could rise to a higher level. For example, Long Xian had cultivated his God technique to the 5th level. Now, if I go all out, I'm afraid I can defeat Long Xian. Lu Ming revealed a confident smile. Suddenly, Lu Ming's expression changed and he looked in Chiu's direction. At this moment, Chiu's body was emitting a powerful aura. This aura was extremely shocking. Fortunately, the courtyards where the inner disciples lived were protected by a large formation that could isolate the aura. Otherwise, this aura would definitely alarm others. This aura is so shocking. Chiu is breaking through to the 2nd stage of True God Realm. No, 3rd stage True God Realm. Sensing Chiu's aura, Lu Ming was initially overjoyed. In the end, he was shocked and his eyes widened. That was because Chiu's aura had risen too quickly. Originally, Chiu's cultivation was at the 1st stage of True God Realm. At this moment, it quickly rose to the 2nd stage of True God Realm. After a while, it rose to the 3rd stage of True God Realm and then the 4th stage of True God Realm. It wasn't over yet. Its aura was still rising. Stage 5 True God Realm, Stage 6 True God Realm. It only stopped when it reached Stage 8 True God Realm. He had advanced from the first stage of True God Realm to the 8th stage of True God Realm in a short while. This speed was even faster than riding on an interplanetary warship. It would be strange if Lu Ming was not dumbfounded. Lu Ming was tongue-tied, thinking that he was dreaming. At this moment, Qiuqiu finally reacted. It turned its round body, and its expression was shiny and sparkling. A pair of eyes and a big mouth appeared on his body, revealing a satisfied expression. Qiuqiu, you broke through to the 8th stage True God Realm? Lu Ming asked. Yes, I am. Suddenly, a figure appeared in Lu Ming's mind. You can speak? Lu Ming was stunned. No, I'm talking to you with my mind. The ball continued. Lu Ming was stunned and then nodded. Qiuqiu's cultivation was so high that it was normal for it to be able to communicate with him. One must know that in the Heaven Realm, even Martial King Realm demonic beasts could speak. Qiuqiu was very strange, but it was at the True God stage after all, so it was normal for it to communicate with its thoughts. 8th level True God, he actually directly broke through to 8th level True God. That piece of bronze door's fragment is also too heaven-defying, right? Lu Ming was amazed. It was obvious that Qiuqiu had swallowed a small fragment of the bronze gate on the ancient god star, which had caused its cultivation to skyrocket. It was only a small fragment, but Qiuqiu's cultivation had actually increased so much. If it swallowed the entire bronze door, what realm would Qiuqiu advance to? Would he be able to reach the Divine King realm? Or even more? Lu Ming's heart was burning with passion. But then he shook his head helplessly. He had asked around before and found out that the bronze door had not been opened yet. Currently, there were countless experts gathered at the bronze door. There were even many Divine King experts. Moreover, the major sects had invited a few formation masters to study and crack the formation on the bronze door. He couldn't get close to the bronze door at all. He could only think of a way in the future. Lu Ming, do you want to have a spar? Qiuqiu's voice was heard again. Two tentacles extended from its body like arms, and it looked at Lu Ming arrogantly. This guy good. Come, let's exchange pointers. Lu Ming smiled. He also wanted to know how strong Qiuqiu was after breaking through to the 8th tier of True God. Be prepared, I'm afraid it'll hurt you, Qiuqiu's arrogant voice continued. This fellow is really confident. Lu Ming pursed his lips and then circulated his divine energy with all his might. In his dantian, 6 divine flames started to burn. Although the mysterious divine fire had just been condensed, it was still useful in increasing Lu Ming's divine power. At the same time, Lu Ming activated the battle formula and his combat power was tripled. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands. Come on. Lu Ming stared at Qiuqiu. Buzz. Qiuqiu's round body charged at Lu Ming. One of its arms transformed rapidly into a huge hammer and smashed at Lu Ming. Boom, boom, boom. The hammer smashed out, and a violent explosion rang out in the air. What a powerful force! Lu Ming's eyes narrowed the moment Qiuqiu attacked. He did not dare to be careless. Break the sky! Lu Ming thrust his spear. Boom! A spear ray collided with Qiuqiu's hammer, creating a violent boom. Buzz! Lu Ming's long spear shook violently. His body shook violently and he was sent flying like a cannonball, crashing into the wall of the courtyard. Runes appeared on the walls of the courtyard, blocking Lu Ming. Fortunately, the courtyard was protected by a large array. Otherwise, the courtyard would have exploded. Amazing, amazing! Lu Ming's arms ached. The web between his thumb and forefinger was split open and blood was flowing out. After the collision, Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage. The power of Qiuqiu's move just now was extremely terrifying. It was definitely not weaker than Long Xian's all-out attack. Qiuqiu is only at stage 8 True God, but its power is so strong. Its power can probably be compared to prodigies who can control divine-grade divine power. Lu Ming thought in his heart. The miserable Lu Ming in the past, Qiuqiu's power was comparable to a genius who could control divine power. But now, he was one step stronger. He was probably comparable to a genius who could control divine-grade divine power. How is it? Isn't he amazing? Qiuqiu's proud voice rang out. Interesting again. Lu Ming revealed a strong desire to fight. He kept triggering the battle formula, wanting to trigger a fourfold combat power. Come on. Tell you. My strength is not limited to this. Qiuqiu waved its two arms as proud as it could be. Boom. After dozens of times of triggering, Lu Ming finally triggered the quadruple combat strength. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon cutting. This time, Lu Ming really exerted his full strength and used the moon slash. Given Lu Ming's current abilities, he could probably suppress Long Xian if he used this move at full force. Its power was shocking. Buzz. A crescent-shaped spear ray slashed at Qiuqiu. Incoming! Qiuqiu cried out and retracted its arm. Its round body turned rapidly and smashed toward Lu Ming. Clang. It was another terrifying collision. The crescent-shaped spear light collided with Qiuqiu's body. At the moment of collision, the crescent-shaped spear's gleam shook violently and shattered. Then, Qiuqiu's body hit Lu Ming's long spear. Lu Ming's long spear shook violently. He felt a terrifying force surging towards him. He felt as if he had been hit by a planet. Lu Ming's body flew out once again and hit the wall of the courtyard. This time, Lu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood. He felt as if all the bones in his body were about to break. Lu Ming, are you all right? Qiuqiu asked with concern. I'm fine. It's just a small injury. What's the big deal? Lu Ming braced himself. How could he lose face in front of Qiuqiu? Qiuqiu, is this all your strength? It's really powerful. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Qiuqiu's power was probably close to the heavenly god level. It was really shocking. He was no match for it even if he went all out. Of course not. I still have another power that I haven't used. Qiuqiu said complacently. After it finished speaking, sizzling sounds came from the surface of its body, and wisps of lightning appeared. It's this kind of lightning. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This lightning was exactly the same as the lightning on the bronze door back then, but it was much thinner. Lu Ming, do you want to try the power of my lightning? Qiuqiu blinked its big eyes and said. There was a hint of ill intention in its eyes. You'll try it, come on. Lu Ming was very confident in his defense. With a thought, 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around him. Then, 9 layers of scarlet gold armor appeared on his body. He was fully armed. Are you sure you're ready? Qiuqiu asked in a low voice. Of course. Cut the sea. Come on, you can't hurt me. Lu Ming had a look of confidence. Zzzzzzz. Bolts of lightning emerged from Qiuqiu's body and then gathered into a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm. It rushed towards Lu Ming at an alarming speed and hit Lu Ming in the next moment. Then, there was an extra person in the courtyard. His body was charred black, his hair was in a mess, and smoke was constantly rising from his body. Lu Ming, are you all right? You're the one who wanted to try it? Qiuqiu said, a little scared. I'm not. I'm fine, how could I be? Lu Ming gritted his teeth. He had never expected that the lightning Qiuqiu had triggered would be so powerful. His ice chains and scarlet gold armor couldn't withstand it at all. They crumbled in an instant, and the terrifying lightning directly scorched his body. At the critical moment, Qiuqiu had probably gone easy on him. Otherwise, he would have been in an even more miserable state. Amazing, amazing! Immediately, Lu Ming was excited. The power of Qiuqiu's lightning was absolutely comparable to that of a heavenly god. Some of the weaker heavenly gods might not even be this strong. The stronger Qiuqiu was, the happier Lu Ming would be. Immediately, Lu Ming consumed a divine healing pill to recover from his injuries. He then washed up and changed into a new set of clothes. Lu Ming, are you there? At this moment, Yu Linglong's voice came from outside. From her voice, she seemed to be quite anxious. Qiuqiu transformed into a bracelet and put it on Lu Ming's hand. Lu Ming walked out of the courtyard. Lady Yu, what happened? Lu Ming asked. Lu Ming, this is bad. And Hai, Lu Chang, Zhao Feng and the others have been beaten up. They're seriously injured, Yu Linglong said. He was beaten? Lu Ming frowned and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. Who did this? Lu Ming asked. I don't know yet. I came to you after I got the news. Zifeng went to see them first. Yu Linglong said. Let's go. Lu Ming stepped into the air and flew toward the residence of Anhai and the others. Very soon, Lu Ming and Yu Linglong arrived at Anhai's residence. They pushed the door open and smelled the stench of blood. And NBSP and Hai, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng were all here, but they all looked very miserable. Lu Chang and Zhao Feng were lying on the ground, their faces pale and their breathing weak. Lu Ming could tell with a single glance that their bone armor had been broken. And Hai was the most miserable. Half of his body had exploded and blood was flowing out. His internal organs could be seen. At this moment, Wu Zifeng was helping Anhai heal his injuries. Boss? Anhai struggled to bow when he saw Lu Ming. Don't move. Recuperate properly. Lu Ming quickly stopped him. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. The person who had done this was extremely vicious. If they were not in the Kong Xian sect, where the other party did not dare to violate the sect rules and kill, Anhai and the others would have been dead. Even so, Anhai and the others had probably suffered quite a bit. Fortunately, Anhai and the others' injuries weren't fatal. With their divine bodies, they could recover very quickly. A few hours later, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng's bones had all been set back and their auras had stabilized. Anhai's exploded body was also healing rapidly, and new flesh and blood grew. Who did this? Lu Ming said coldly. Anhai, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng's expressions froze, and they looked at each other. Boss, we're fine. Let's just forget about this matter. Anhai said, let's just forget it? How can I just let this matter go? In the future, will anyone in the Kong Xian sect still take me seriously? Lu Ming said coldly. He knew that Anhai and the rest were doing this for his sake. However, Lu Ming would not let it go. Who did this? Lu Ming asked again. Boss, it's still. Anhai wanted to persuade Lu Ming to stop. I'm asking you to say it in the name of the saint. Who did it? Lu Ming's tone was more serious and his voice was cold. Anhai's words came to an abrupt end. Finally, Anhai sighed and said, it was Lu Feiyun. Lu Feiyun? Lu Ming was stunned. He had never heard of this name. Killing their way to the door, Lu Feiyun is from the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction. Lu Chang said, it's indeed the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction. Lu Ming's eyes glinted coldly, his killing intent as sharp as a knife. He had already guessed that the people who had attacked were either from the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction, the Sacred Sun Floating Lights faction, or the Jixia Saint and the Shui Tan Saintess. It must be one of them. Courting death, Lu Ming said coldly. Boss, don't be rash. Lu Feiyu is a first-tier heavenly god and is the Tianhong Saint Sun's right-hand man. He's extremely powerful and far from being comparable to Long Xian. And Hai quickly said, first-level heavenly deity? So what? Tell me his address. Lu Ming said in a commanding tone. The Tianhong Saint Sun's faction had many heavenly gods, but none of them could control divine power. Only the Supreme Holy Sun could have such a person who could become a holy sun by himself and had divine power. It was just a first-level heavenly god who controlled king-grade divine power. Lu Ming might be able to fight with Qiuqiu's help. He had to get back at them for this. Otherwise, he would become the laughingstock of the Kong Xian sect, and no one would dare to join his faction. And Hai, Lu Chang, and the rest did not dare to disobey Lu Ming. They obediently told him Lu Feiyun's address. You guys rest well. I'll get back at you for this. With that, Lu Ming turned and left. Lu Ming, wait a minute. Don't be rash. I'm afraid this is the other party's scheme. They deliberately injured Anhai and the others to provoke you to attack. Once you attack, they will have a legitimate reason to attack you. Yu Linglong quickly said, it's fine. Lu Ming waved his hand and flew out. He could naturally guess the other party's goal, but the other party had underestimated his strength. Oh no, I have to inform my cousin. Zifeng, come with me. Yu Linglong said. Then she and Wu Zifeng hurriedly flew toward Ouyang Xiangxiang's residence. In a luxurious garden in the inner court, a group of people were drinking and chatting. The leader of the group was Lu Feiyun. This time, I've tortured Lu Ming's subordinates. It's so satisfying. Indeed, those idiots were really audacious. The saint said that whoever joined Lu Ming's sect would be going against him. Those guys didn't give the saint any face and joined Lu Ming's sect in public. They're just a few dogs who don't know what's good for them. Seeing that Lu Ming has some talent, they want to suck up to him. However, they don't know that Lu Ming can't fight against the saint. He can't even protect himself. Some of the young men laughed as they drank. I wonder how Lu Ming will handle this time? Someone said. He only has 2 paths to take. The first is to swallow his anger. However, if he does so, his reputation will be completely tarnished. His subordinates have been abused so badly, but he still has to swallow his anger. In the future, no one will join Lu Ming's faction. He will no longer be able to compete with the saint. Second, if he comes to me for revenge, I'll beat him up and break all his bones. I'll make him kneel in front of me like a dog. Lu Feiyun sneered. This was their scheme. No matter what Lu Ming did, he would fall into their trap. What a brilliant plan. The saint's plan is truly brilliant. That Lu Ming wants to fight with the saint. He's simply courting death. The other young men began to flatter him. Lu Feiyun, get out here. At this moment, a loud roar came from outside. The entire courtyard seemed to shake. Lu Feiyun and the others were stunned. This is Lu Ming's voice? Some people were bewildered. That's right. It's Lu Ming's voice. I didn't expect that this kid would really dare to come. Good. Lu Feiyun's eyes were cold and excited. He stood up and walked out. The other young men followed. When he walked out of the courtyard, he saw Lu Ming standing alone in the void. His entire body was emitting a cold light. You're Lu Feiyun? Lu Ming's gaze fell on Lu Feiyun. Among all the people present, only Lu Feiyun gave him an unfathomable feeling. That's right. I'm Lu Feiyun. Lu Ming, why are you here? Do you want to lower your head and admit your mistakes to our saint? Lu Feiyun laughed and the other young men followed suit. Today, I will break your bones and make you kowtow to my subordinates in apology. Lu Ming said coldly. Lu Feiyun and the rest stopped laughing. They looked at Lu Ming as if he was an idiot. Break Lu Feiyun's bones and make him kowtow and apologize to his men? Where did Lu Ming get his confidence from? Oh really? Then why don't you try? Lu Feiyun's eyes shone with excitement. He was waiting for Lu Ming to make a move. Boom. A powerful aura burst out from Lu Ming's body. A powerful pressure filled the air above this area. They're about to make their move. At this moment, many figures appeared in the area, watching from afar. This area was originally where the inner sect disciples gathered. Lu Ming's loud roar earlier had already alerted the inner sect disciples in the nearby area. Lu Ming actually went to Lu Feiyun and said that he would break his bones. Is he crazy? He's indeed crazy. Lu Feiyun is a first-tier celestial deity and a capable general under the Tianhong Saint Sun. Lu Ming is too arrogant. There's going to be a good show. It'll be fun if one of the saints gets abused. The surrounding people were discussing animatedly. Many people were waiting to watch a good show. Boom. Lu Ming did not waste any more time. He immediately attacked with all his might. During the conversation just now, Lu Ming had already started to activate the battle formula. He only made his move after he successfully triggered the quadruple combat strength. A huge spear radiance, like a mountain, pressed down on Lu Feiyun and the others. This power, beside Lu Feiyun, the other young men were shocked. Even a few peak true god existences were scared. They couldn't resist this move at all. Only Lu Feiyun remained calm. You want to fight me with such strength? Ignorant. Lu Feiyun had one hand behind his back. He extended his other hand and struck out. A palm print flew out and hit the spear light. Boom. The spear radiance trembled violently before it shattered. The terrifying palm force charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body trembled violently and he was sent flying backward. He only stopped after he had retreated 100 miles. Is this the strength of a heavenly god? It's indeed shocking. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. Just now, the other party definitely didn't use his full strength. However, the power of his attack far surpassed, said Long Xian, who was ranked 6th on the real god ranking list. Celestial deity realm and true deity realm, there was a huge gap. Chapter 2798 Battling a heavenly god. You dare to fight me with your puny strength? Suppress. Lu Feiyun said coldly. He dashed toward Lu Ming and formed a huge palm with one hand, pressing down on Lu Ming. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon cutting. Lu Ming let out a long howl. His divine energy was boiling as he cast the moon-cutting sword of the 3 apocalyptic strikes. A crescent-shaped spear ray slashed at the palm print. At the same time, 9 ice chains flew out of Lu Ming's body and rushed towards the palm print. Boom! An earth-shattering boom resounded, the mountains shook, and the earth trembled. Lu Ming's figure was once again thrown back 100 miles. He spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. However, he managed to block the opponent's palm print. Moreover, Lu Ming's divine body was extremely strong. Wisps of blood qi flowed out of his ancient god's heart, and Lu Ming's injuries were completely healed in an instant. Amazing! The surrounding spectators all revealed expressions of shock. No matter what the outcome was today, Lu Ming's combat strength was shocking. He could actually block Lu Feiyun's attacks continuously. Lu Feiyun's face darkened. Although he did not use his full strength, he was a celestial god-level powerhouse after all. He felt embarrassed, said that he could not suppress Lu Ming even after a series of attacks. He was about to continue attacking, but Lu Ming had already made the first move. Now it's my turn. Lu Ming shouted coldly and used the 9 heavenly Kunpeng technique. In a flash, he appeared above Lu Feiyun's head. The long spear struck down with force. It was the same move as the moon-cutting technique. At the same time, 9 ice chains flew down and wrapped around Lu Feiyun. Small tricks. Lu Feiyun said coldly and struck out another palm. Although he had only used one palm, more than 90% of his divine power had been unleashed. He wanted to completely suppress Lu Ming with this palm. Ball. At this moment, Lu Ming had a thought and Qiu flew out directly. It turned into a huge metal ball and blasted toward Lu Feiyun. Boom! Lu Ming's attack and Qiu's attack hit Lu Feiyun's palm print simultaneously. Boom! An even more terrifying vibration erupted. Lu Feiyun's palm print shook violently, and cracks appeared on it. How is that possible? Lu Feiyun's eyes widened in disbelief. He had never expected that Lu Ming could actually break his attack. Boom! Then, Lu Feiyun's palm print crumbled and Lu Ming's long spear swept out. Lu Feiyun retreated quickly, but it was too late. Blood splattered everywhere. Lu Yunfei's body was cut by the spear radiance. The wound was so deep that his bone could be seen. Boom! Lu Feiyun exploded with all his might. His divine power swept out like a wave, blocking Lu Ming and Qiu's subsequent attacks. Lu Feiyun is actually injured. The surrounding spectators were all stunned. He was furious. Lu Feiyun himself was furious. His entire body was filled with a terrifying killing intent. His eyes were extremely ferocious as he glared at Lu Ming. He, a dignified celestial god-level powerhouse, was actually injured by Lu Ming, a third-stage true god. This was simply an insult to him. He could not wait to tear Lu Ming into 1,000 pieces. Good, very good. Lu Ming, I'll make you beg for death today. Lu Feiyun said ferociously. His aura became even more terrifying. A pair of divine gloves appeared on his hands. Buzz! Lu Feiyun turned into a bolt of lightning and charged at Lu Ming. He struck out with both hands and several huge palm prints came at Lu Ming. They were much stronger than before. This was Lu Feiyun's true combat power. He was absolutely powerful. One must know that the divine power he controlled was king-grade divine power. It was even stronger than those first-level heavenly gods who controlled ordinary divine power. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. He activated the 9-layer crimson gold armor and controlled the 9 ice chains. Then, he cast the 3 apocalyptic strikes and charged toward Lu Feiyun. At the same time, Qiuqiu spun rapidly and attacked Lu Feiyun together with Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not ask Qiuqiu to cast that kind of lightning. It was not the time yet. That kind of lightning would only be effective at the critical moment. Boom, boom. The two sides collided once again, and a terrifying boom erupted. Lu Ming let out a long howl, his long hair flying in the wind. He exerted all his strength to the extreme. At the same time, Qiuqiu also exploded to its limit. But even so, Lu Ming and Qiuqiu were still at a disadvantage despite joining forces. The two of them were suppressed and kept retreating. The divine power of a celestial god was extremely strong. Every move was filled with explosive power, and Lu Ming was almost suffocating from the pressure. If Qiuqiu had not withstood most of the pressure, Lu Ming would have been defeated. In the blink of an eye, the two sides had exchanged dozens of rounds. Kacha! Cracks appeared on Lu Ming's 9-layer crimson gold armor. It could not hold on any longer. The ice chains also made cracking sounds. Condense! Lu Ming shouted. Divine power gushed out from the measure formula. Lu Ming remained at his peak. The scarlet gold armor on his body glowed brightly again and the 9 ice chains became solid. What's wrong with this kid? Lu Feiyun was shocked. Logically speaking, Lu Ming was only at the 3rd-tier true god realm. In such a high-intensity battle, his divine power should have been exhausted long ago. However, since the start of the battle, Lu Ming had been maintaining several divine skills at the same time and was still as lively as a dragon and a tiger. He was simply a monster. Burning blood grand magic. Seeing that the battle was going on for a long time, Lu Feiyun became anxious and used his secret skill. His body was covered in a layer of fiery red blood light, as if his blood was burning. At the same time, his combat strength had also increased by several times. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming and Qiuqiu were sent flying at the same time and they retreated rapidly. Lu Ming, in particular, spat out a mouthful of blood. Kill! Lu Feiyun roared and charged at Lu Ming. His palm turned into a claw and clawed at Lu Ming, as if he was going to break all the bones in Lu Ming's body. Come on! There was a crazed look in Lu Ming's eyes. He circulated several divine skills and secret skills with all his might and was highly focused. The scarlet gold armor on Lu Ming's body suddenly became more solid and the light became more dazzling. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had broken through the 9-layer crimson gold armor and reached the 5th layer. His defense had increased greatly. This kid, Lu Feiyun, was shocked beyond words. He had naturally noticed Lu Ming's breakthrough. So what if I've broken through? You want to block my attack? Dream on. Lu Yunfei increased his speed and attacked Lu Ming. And NBSP whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming controlled the 9 ice chains and wrapped them around Lu Feiyun. The ice chain was extremely powerful against true immortal realm experts, but it was not enough to deal with Lu Feiyun, who was a heavenly god. Under Lu Feiyun's attacks, the ice chains kept breaking. Moon slaying, die! Lu Ming bellowed as he swung his long spear down. A crescent-shaped spear ray slashed toward Lu Feiyun. Suppress! Lu Feiyun was not afraid at all. He clawed at the spear ray, bringing with him a terrifying wave of energy. The saint takes action at the same time that Lu Feiyun attacked Lu Ming. Qiuqiu also launched an attack on Lu Feiyun. However, Lu Feiyun did not pay attention to Qiuqiu. He already knew Qiuqiu's strength. He activated a defensive divine skill that was enough to block Qiuqiu's attack. He had to suppress Lu Ming first before dealing with Qiuqiu. Boom! Lu Feiyun's claw grabbed onto Lu Ming's spear radiance and shattered it. A terrifying force was directed at Lu Ming. Boom! At the same time, Qiuqiu also smashed into Lu Yunfei's body, but it was blocked by his defensive divine skill. Now is the time. Ball, lightning, Lu Ming shouted with his mental strength. Qiuqiu's entire body emitted a series of electric lights, which converged into a lightning bolt as thick as an arm and blasted toward Lu Feiyun. Boom! The bolt of lightning pierced through Lu Feiyun's defense and struck his body. Ah! Lu Yunfei shrieked in pain as his body trembled violently. He retracted half of the force that he was about to use to attack Lu Ming. His claws grabbed onto Lu Ming's scarlet gold armor and sent him flying. Even so, Lu Ming was still severely injured and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. However, Lu Feiyun was worse off than him. He didn't have much defense against Qiuqiu. After the previous battle, he already had a clear understanding of Qiuqiu's strength. He never thought that Qiuqiu would have such a terrifying lightning. Therefore, Qiuqiu's bolt of lightning struck him directly, causing his body to hurt as if it was being torn apart. His body was also numb, and for a moment, it was difficult for him to move. "Qiuqiu, continue!" Lu Ming roared. A heavenly god's strength was too shocking. Even if he was directly, Lu Yunfei would not be seriously injured. Now was the best time to completely suppress Lu Feiyun. Zzz, bright lightning appeared on Qiuqiu's body again. How audacious! Stop! The young men with Lu Yunfei roared and pounced on Qiuqiu, trying to stop it. Get lost! Lu Ming could not care less about his injuries. He cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Pring technique and charged at the few people, sweeping his long spear horizontally. Bang! 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 Those few young men were only at true god level and could not withstand Lu Ming's current strength. They were swept away by the spear's gleam and fell to the ground, spitting out mouthfuls of blood. One move and he was seriously injured. At this moment, Qiuqiu's second bolt of lightning had already shot out and struck Lu Feiyun's head. Lu Feiyun screamed in pain. His body turned black and smoke rose from his body. His body was split open. The moment blood flowed out, he was burned by the lightning and turned into smoke. Bind! Lu Ming seized the opportunity and rushed over. The 9 ice chains appeared again and wrapped around Lu Feiyun. The terrifying chill instantly froze Lu Feiyun. Bang! The ice chain lifted Lu Yunfei up and threw him heavily. Lu Yunfei fell to the ground and created a big pit. Cracking sounds came from Lu Yunfei's body. Many of his bones were broken. Lu Feiyun was severely injured and had no strength to fight back. The surrounding spectators were all dumbfounded. They didn't expect such an outcome. If Lu Ming, who was at true god level, went to Lu Yunfei's house to fight him, the final result would be Lu Yunfei being defeated and severely injured. I told you to kneel down and apologize to my subordinates. Now kneel down to me first, Lu Ming said coldly. He controlled the ice chain and Lu Feiyun, wanting him to kneel down. Lu Ming, you dare? Lu Feiyun howled and struggled madly. However, he was already severely injured. All his bones were broken and he was bound by the ice chains. He could not break free at all. Pluck. He was forced to kneel in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, I'll kill you! Lu Yunfei shouted hysterically. His eyes were red and his killing intent was extremely cold. What are you shouting for? You should have thought of this when you injured my men. Now go and kowtow to my men and admit your mistake. Lu Ming was about to bring Lu Yunfei back to Enhai's residence so that he could kowtow and apologize to Enhai and the rest. The others sighed. Lu Ming was really strong and overbearing. How dare you? Let him go. At this moment, a loud shout came from the distance. At the same time, an extremely terrifying aura blotted out the sky and filled the air. The Tianhong Saint's son. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Lu Ming knew that the Tianhong Saint's son had arrived the moment he heard the voice. Lu Ming moved and landed beside Lu Feiyun. The next moment, a young man appeared in the sky and looked down at Lu Ming. Who else could it be but the Tianhong Saint's son? The Tianhong Saint's son's eyes fell on Lu Feiyun. Cold, killing intent burst out of his eyes when he saw Lu Feiyun's miserable state. Lu Ming, did you know that Lu Feiyun is one of my men? The Tianhong Saint's son's voice was cold. So what if I know? So what if I don't know? Lu Ming sneered. I'll make you pay 10 times the price for hitting my people. The Tianhong Saint's son said. I'm afraid he'll be crippled before I pay the price. Lu Ming pointed at Lu Feiyun. You think you can use him to threaten me? You're so naive. The Tianhong Saint's son sneered. He had just finished speaking when he disappeared. Not good, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He focused his mind, trying to capture the Tianhong Saint Sun's figure. However, at this moment, a terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming's body, making him feel as if he had fallen into a swamp. Break. Lu Ming let out a long howl and burst out with all his strength. He exerted his strength to the extreme. A spear's gleam soared into the sky and broke through the surrounding pressure. However, just as Lu Ming's body regained some freedom, his 9 ice chains shook violently and suddenly shattered into pieces. Lu Feiyun was swept away by a force. Then, not far in front of Lu Ming, the Tianhong Saint Sun appeared with Lu Feiyun in his hand. What powerful strength! Lu Ming's heart sank. The Tianhong Saint Sun's strength was beyond his expectations. He had not even been able to react when the Tianhong Saint Sun had suddenly attacked and saved Lu Feiyun from his hands. Unfathomable! Lu Ming could sense that the Tianhong Saint Sun's cultivation was at least at the 3rd level of the celestial deity realm. Moreover, the divine energy he controlled was definitely of the divine grade. Lu Yunfei could not compare to him. You want to fight me with your puny strength? I'll cripple you today. The Tianhong Saint Sun was very powerful. Golden divine power danced around his body, forming a terrifying wave that pressed toward Lu Ming. Bang, bang, bang. Lu Ming retreated continuously. He could not withstand the pressure and took more than 10 steps back. It was the same for Qiu Qiu. It was pushed back by the pressure and landed on Lu Ming's shoulder. Its eyes were filled with solemnity. The battle between the Holy Sons and Holy Virgins. Kid, you're playing with fire this time. Bone Demon sighed in his sea of consciousness. Senior, is there any way for me to have the strength to fight against Tianhong? Lu Ming asked. This time, Lu Ming did not expect the Tianhong Saint Sun to arrive so quickly. However, given Lu Ming's character, even if he knew, he would still deal with Lu Feiyun. It was not in Lu Ming's character to swallow his anger. That kid is very powerful. With your current strength, there's only one way for you to fight against the Tianhong Saint Sun in a short time, and that's to burn the ancient god heart completely. That way, you'll gain great power for a short time. However, the consequence is that your ancient god's heart might disappear completely. The price to pay is extremely great. Bone sighed. Burning the ancient god heart? Will it completely disappear? Lu Ming also frowned. To be able to condense the ancient god heart was a great opportunity. This kind of opportunity could only be encountered and not sought. If it was lost, there would be no more. Lu Ming could not bear to part with it. With the ancient god's heart, his divine body could grow at all times. In the long run, the benefits were very amazing. However, if there was really no other way, he could only take a gamble. Lu Ming, first of all, kneel down. The Tianhong Saint Sun looked down from above. His aura was as vast as the ocean, pressing down on Lu Ming. At the same time, he extended a palm and pressed down. A huge palm, like an ancient divine mountain, pressed down on Lu Ming. The palm had not even reached him, but the terrifying pressure was already making Lu Ming's body creak. Unable to fight, completely unable to fight. The gap between the two sides was too great. Both Lu Ming and Qiu Qiu seemed very weak in front of the Tianhong Saint Sun. It seems like I can only burn my ancient god heart. Lu Ming revealed a determined look. Although the ancient god's heart was precious, it was nothing compared to his life. Come on. Lu Ming made up his mind. He was ready to go all out and burn the ancient god heart. At this moment, a delicate voice shouted, Tianhong, you're a heavenly god realm saint, but you're actually dealing with a 3rd stage true god. You're really shameless. If you want to fight, it'll be your opponent. Before he finished speaking, a sword light had already flown over from the distance, like a flying immortal. Boom. The sword radiance hit the Tianhong Saint Sun's palm print and a loud boom was heard. The palm print shook and was split in half by the sword radiance. Buzz. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the distant sky. Yang Xiangxiang. At the crucial moment, Ouyang Qingxiang made her move. She slashed open the Tianhong Saint Sun's palm print. It was not that Ouyang Qingxiang was much stronger than the Tianhong Saint Sun. It was just that the Tianhong Saint Sun had not used his full strength in the previous attack. In order to save Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang had used even more strength to break the Tianhong Saint Sun's palm print. Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. Ouyang Qingxiang had arrived. It seemed that he did not need to burn the ancient god's heart. After all, the ancient god's heart was too precious. Lu Ming could not bear to waste it unless he had no other choice. Ouyang Qingxiang, are you trying to meddle in my business? The Tianhong Saint Sun's face turned cold as he stared at Ouyang Qingxiang. What do you mean by being a busybody? Lu Ming and I are friends. If you want to deal with him, you'll be dealing with me. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Do you think you can stop me? The Tianhong Saint Sun snorted. Golden divine power radiated from his body, and his aura grew stronger. You'll know once you try. Although you've become a saint earlier than me, you might not be able to defeat me. Ouyang Chang said coldly. An extremely powerful sword qi burst out from his body and pierced through the sky. Saintess Qingxiang and the Tianhong Saint Sun are about to make a move. It's been a long time since the Holy Sons and Holy Virgins fought each other. I'm looking forward to it. I wonder who's stronger? I don't know. Although Holy Maiden Qingxiang became a Holy Maiden later, her talent is amazing. She might not be weaker than the Tianhong Saint Sun. I didn't expect Lu Ming to be friends with Holy Maiden Qingxiang. Speaking of which, Lu Ming is indeed terrifying. If he grows up, I'm afraid he will surpass all the other Holy Sons and Holy Virgins. Only the Supreme Holy Son can fight him. That's right. I wonder how today's matter will be resolved. More and more people were gathering in this area. Even some of the inner sect elders had appeared and were watching from afar. Divine Dragon's great palm. Suddenly, the Tianhong Saint Sun let out a long roar. His divine power burst forth, and his hands formed seals continuously. With a wave of his hand, a huge dragon claw formed. It was incomparably huge and grabbed toward Ouyang Qingxiang. Song of the Green Lotus Sword. Ouyang Qingxiang murmured. Her sword momentum soared to the sky as she swung her sword. A green sword light burst forth and slashed at the huge dragon claw. Boom! The terrifying collision caused thousands of waves. It was as if the entire inner gate area was shaking violently. Let's go up and fight. Ouyang Xiangxiang's voice was heard as her body turned into a green sword light and shot into the sky. A dragon's roar was heard from the Tianhong Saint Sun's body. His body suddenly changed drastically. The Tianhong Saint Sun's body became burly. His muscles bulged and he was twice as big as before. A layer of golden scales appeared on the surface of his skin. Under the sunlight, they glowed. They were dragon scales. What was even more shocking was that the Tianhong Saint Sun had grown a tail. A dragon tail. Dragon Man race. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. He recognized the Tianhong Saint Sun's race. The Tianhong Saint Sun was from the Dragon Man race. Lu Ming had seen this race before. In the Yellow Spring world of Mount Netherworld, there was a country formed by the Dragon Man race. Divine Dragon's great palm. The Tianhong Saint Sun revealed his true form, and his combat power was even stronger. He kept using the dragon god's giant palm print. 9 golden dragon claws formed in the sky and grabbed toward Ouyang Qingxiang. Song of the Green Lotus Sword, sword shaking the world. Ouyang Qingxiang turned around, and a green sword qi shot out, slashing toward the golden dragon claw. The two of them were engaged in an intense battle, and the scene was extremely shocking. Lu Ming's expression was grave. With his current abilities, he was still far from being comparable to the Tianhong Saint Sun and Ouyang Qingxiang. It's just a 4th-level celestial deity. Lu Ming, don't belittle yourself. With your talent, you'll be able to catch up to them in a few years. The Bone Demon's voice was heard. It seemed to have seen through Lu Ming's thoughts. 4th-level heavenly deity? Lu Ming nodded. He wondered what the cultivation levels of the other Holy Sons and Holy Virgins of Kongxian sect were like. Buzz. Buzz. At this time, 2 figures flew over from the distance. They were Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng. Lu Ming, are you all right? Yu Linglong asked. I'm fine. Were you the ones who informed Holy Maiden Qingxiang? Thank you. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He knew that Ouyang Qingxiang must have rushed over after receiving the notice from Yu Linglong and the rest. It's good that you're fine. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng both nodded and looked up at the battle in the sky. Divine Dragon Materialization Art. At that moment, Ouyang Qingxiang and the Tianhong Saint Sun had already exchanged more than 100 moves, and it was still difficult to determine the winner. The Tianhong Saint Sun's face grew gloomier. Ouyang Qingxiang, you're the one who forced me. I'll show you my real trump card, the Divine Dragon Phenomenon. Come out. The Tianhong Saint Sun roared, and his divine power surged. Half of the sky was dyed golden. Then, a dragon's roar shook the 9 heavens. A huge true dragon appeared above the Tianhong Saint Sun. No, it shouldn't be called a true dragon. In the primeval universe, all true dragons who had reached the martial god realm were called divine dragons. Seeing this divine dragon, Lu Ming was in a daze. He thought that he had returned to the era when the divine wilderness continent was fighting for supremacy. This was because this move was very similar to the move of fusing the body with the blood when one was below the martial royal realm. However, this was clearly not a bloodline technique, but a secret technique. He had used a secret technique to form a divine dragon with a terrifying aura. What surprised Lu Ming the most was that this divine dragon did not have 5 claws but 6. 6 clawed. What happened? Could it be a mutated divine dragon? Lu Ming's mind was racing. Back then, when Lu Ming had just gone to the Yuan continent, he had met Xiao Ying. Her bloodline was a 6-clawed true dragon. In the heaven realm and the primordial realm, dragons had 6 claws. Those with 7 claws and above were considered mutants of the true dragons, such as the 9 dragons. Therefore, Lu Ming naturally thought that the divine dragon that the Tianhong Saint Sun had condensed was also a variant. The 6-clawed golden divine dragon roared as it pounced toward Ouyang Qingxiang with its tens of thousands of meters long body. Song of the Green Lotus Sword, soared out to kill the spirit. Facing the secret technique of the Tianhong Saint Sun, Ouyang Qingxiang's expression was extremely grave. She also used her ultimate technique. Countless green sword lights burst out of her body and gathered into a green lotus flower. It spun and flew toward the 6-clawed golden divine dragon. The 6-clawed golden divine dragon bellowed and struck out with its claws. The green lotus exploded with a deafening boom. The sky was boiling and the terrifying energy surged in all directions like a tsunami. This was the most powerful collision between the holy sons and holy virgins. The scene was shocking. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's body felt like it was boiling. The blood in his body seemed to be boiling, and there were even dragon roars coming from his blood. This is the voice of the 9 dragons. Lu Ming was extremely shocked. Lu Ming had once refined 9 drops of blood essence from the 9 dragons. As Lu Ming's cultivation level continued to improve, these 9 drops of blood essence fused with Lu Ming's blood and had been hidden in his body. The Tianhong Saint Sun's secret skill had actually triggered the 9 dragon blood essence. This secret skill is so powerful. If I can get it, I'll definitely be able to cultivate it to an extremely high level. Lu Ming's mind was filled with thoughts and his eyes were burning with passion. He had a feeling that the Tianhong Saint Sun's secret technique was very suitable for him. It was a desire that came from the 9 dragon blood essence. The battle between the Tianhong Saint Sun and Ouyang Qingxiang became even more intense. However, Ouyang Qingxiang was already at a disadvantage. The Tianhong Saint Sun's secret technique, the Divine Dragon Materialization Art, was shockingly powerful. It had already begun to suppress Ouyang Qingxiang. Of course, it wasn't that Ouyang Qingxiang's Green Lotus Sword song wasn't powerful. It was terrifyingly powerful, but her cultivation was slightly weaker than the Tianhong Saint Sun's. The Tianhong Saint Sun's cultivation base was at the peak of the 4th level heavenly god realm, while Ouyang Qingxiang was at the early stage. At the start of the battle, it was not obvious, but as the battle went on, this gap would naturally slowly show. If this continued, it would be disadvantageous for Ouyang Xiangxiang. Ouyang Qingxiang, I've said it before. Don't even think about stopping me. The Tianhong Saint Sun roared and used the divine dragon materialization art with all his might. The six-clawed golden divine dragon's power became more and more terrifying. Ouyang Xiangxiang did not say a word and resisted with all her might. It would not be easy for the Tianhong Saint Sun to win in a short time. Below, Lu Ming's eyes darted around, and he suddenly revealed a look of determination. Tianhong, aren't you just trying to attack me? I'll give you a chance. Lu Ming shouted loudly, his voice reverberating throughout the entire area. Many people, including the Tianhong Saint Sun and Ouyang Qingxiang, looked at Lu Ming curiously. I'll make a bet with you, how about it? Lu Ming said. What bet? The Tianhong Saint Sun said. If you attack me, I'll take one of your moves, but only one. After that, you'll have to leave, Lu Ming said. The moment he said that, there was an uproar. What? Lu Ming is going to take one of the Tianhong Saint Sun's moves? Crazy, he's looking for death. That's right. The Tianhong Saint Sun's one move is so terrifying. With Lu Ming's cultivation, he's dead for sure. He saw that the Tianhong Saint Sun wouldn't back down today and wanted to take a gamble. Everyone looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Lu Ming, you can't. Yu Linglong called out. That's right. Brother Lu, the Tianhong Saint Sun's cultivation is too strong. You can't take the risk. Wu Zifeng also said. Lu Ming had received the Tianhong Saint Sun's attack. He was doomed. The Tianhong Saint Sun's eyes flashed with cold, killing intent. What you said, is it true? Of course it's true. However, I have a condition. If I can take one of your moves and not die, you have to give me your divine dragon materialization technique. Lu Ming said. This was his plan. He wanted to obtain the Tianhong Saint Sun's divine dragon materialization art. You want my divine dragon materialization art? Delusional. The Tianhong Saint Sun's voice turned extremely cold. Why can't I? I'm betting my life with you. If I can't take one of your moves, I'll be dead. Isn't it worth it for me to use such a big price to bet a secret skill with you? Also, are you not confident in yourself? Do you think you can't kill me in one move? Lu Ming sneered. I'm not confident? What a joke. Fine, I'll bet with you. The Tianhong Saint Sun shouted. With his cultivation, he could kill Lu Ming with a casual move, let alone using his full strength. Why would he not dare to take the risk? He could take the opportunity to finish off Lu Ming completely. Lu Ming, you don't have to take the risk. I can stop him. Ouyang Qingxiang sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. It's fine. I'm confident. Don't worry, Holy Maiden Qingxiang. Lu Ming replied. Ouyang Qingxiang's eyes flickered. Then, she quickly retreated and put some distance between her and the Tianhong Saint Sun. The two of them stopped fighting. Next, Lu Ming, what do you want to do? Do you want to die? Even if you want to die, don't drag me along. At this moment, in Lu Ming's sea of consciousness, the Bone Demon was in a rage. Senior Bone Demon, this junior's life is in your hands, Lu Ming said. Look at me? Look at my ass. You're looking for death. Go and bear it yourself. The Bone Devil roared. Senior Bone Demon, are you going to just watch as this junior is killed? If this junior is killed, I'm afraid that this junior will never be able to accomplish Senior Jing Yes mission. Lu Ming sighed. You're threatening me, the Bone Devil roared. Chapter 2803 Receive a move. How would Junior dare to threaten Senior? In my current situation, I can only take the risk. Lu Ming sighed. You? Bone Demon's bone armor trembled in anger. He gritted his teeth and said, All right, I'll help you once more. I'm telling you, this is the last time, and I don't have much energy left. I might not be able to help you block that kid's attack. You're on your own. Senior only needs to block a portion of the enemy's power for Junior. Leave the rest to Junior. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Bone could only grit his teeth and agree. Boom. At that moment, the Tianhong Saint Sun appeared above Lu Ming. His violent aura kept pressing down on Lu Ming. A six-clawed divine dragon Dharma image hovered above the Tianhong Saint Sun's head, looking very powerful. Kid, do you have any last words? I'll give you a chance to say them. The Tianhong Saint's son said coldly, full of confidence. If he used his full strength, even an ordinary 4th-level celestial deity would be killed by him, let alone Lu Ming. Make your move. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. The 6 divine flames in his dantian flickered with all their might, and a scarlet gold armor appeared in front of him. At the same time, 9 ice chains flew out and surrounded Lu Ming. In addition, Qiu turned into a pool of liquid metal and climbed onto Lu Ming's body. It manifested on Lu Ming's body and turned into armor. In Lu Ming's sea of consciousness, the bone demon's body glowed. A stream of energy surged into Lu Ming's body and formed a layer of defense. Small tricks, go to hell. The Tianhong Saint's son shouted coldly, his eyes full of killing intent. The 6-clawed divine dragon phenomenon roared, and one of its dragon claws swiped at Lu Ming. He wanted to kill Lu Ming in one move. Originally, it was not allowed to kill fellow disciples in Kong Xian sect's territory, especially when Lu Ming was a saint. However, Lu Ming had taken the initiative to take a blow from the Tianhong Saint's son. In that case, he was not restricted by the sect rules. This was also the reason why the Tianhong Saint's son had agreed. He could take the opportunity to kill Lu Ming. Otherwise, it would not be so easy to kill Lu Ming if he hid in the sect and refused to leave. They've made their move. Can Lu Ming block them? Lu Ming is dead. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Ming, and many thoughts ran through their minds. Boom. The golden dragon claw was as big as a small mountain. It struck Lu Ming's body, and the first thing to be hit was the ice chain. Bang, bang, bang. Almost instantly, the 9 ice chains all shattered. What a terrifying strength. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Then he felt an extremely powerful force pressing down on him like an avalanche. Block it? Lu Ming let out a long howl and exerted all his strength. However, when the dragon claw pressed down, the mountain rocks under Lu Ming's feet exploded and crumbled continuously, forming a huge pit. Lu Ming was blasted into the huge pit. Smoke and dust filled the air, and his figure could not be seen at all. How is it? Is Lu Ming dead? He's definitely dead. With his cultivation, he'll definitely die after taking a blow from the Tianhong Saint's son. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the huge pit, eager to know Lu Ming's situation. Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng, and Ouyang Qingxiang also stared at the big pit with worry. This kid is finally dead. The Tianhong Saint's son smiled. He had absolute confidence in his move. Although he did not use 100% of his strength, he had used 80%. Even with 80% of his strength, he was 10,000% confident that he could kill Lu Ming. However, the next moment, the smile on the Tianhong Saint's son's face disappeared. He was in disbelief. That is, damn it, how is that possible? The Tianhong Saint's son roared. Cough, cough, cough. At this moment, a dry cough came from the big pit. The smoke and dust dispersed, and everyone finally saw the situation clearly. He saw Lu Ming lying in the huge pit, covered in blood. He was also coughing out blood. Lu Ming was severely injured, but he did not die. He didn't die, he actually didn't die. Oh my god, he took the Tianhong Saint's son's attack head-on with his cultivation and didn't die. How is that possible? Many people exclaimed out of disbelief. As for Yu Linglong, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others, they were ecstatic. This fellow is indeed powerful. Lu Ming coughed up a few more mouthfuls of blood and circulated his divine energy to heal his injuries. He had indeed been severely injured by the attack just now. The Tianhong Saint's son was too powerful. His own defense crumbled in an instant, and Qiu was injured as well. It turned into a bangle and Lu Ming put it on. If not for Bone Demon's help, he would not have been able to withstand a single move from the Tianhong Saint's son and would have been killed. But in the end he still managed to block it. He had made the right bet. Damn it, kill? The Tianhong Saint's son was furious. He was filled with killing intent. He took a step forward and a wave of earth-shattering power charged toward Lu Ming. Tianhong, you're despicable. Ouyang Qingxiang had been staring at the Tianhong Saint Sun for a long time. As soon as the Tianhong Saint Sun attacked, Ouyang Qingxiang attacked as well. She slashed out with her sword, and a beam of sword light blocked the Tianhong Saint Sun's attack. Tianhong, you made a bet with Lu Ming with one move. Now that you've failed to kill Lu Ming with one move, you want to make a second move. You're going back on your word. Are you qualified to be the saint of the Kong Xian sect? Ouyang Qingxiang shouted angrily. The Tianhong Saint Sun had no choice but to stop. Just now, many people had seen the bet between him and Lu Ming. It was impossible for them to go back on their words now. Tianhong, you've lost. Hand over the divine dragon materialization technique. Lu Ming struggled to get up and said to the Tianhong Saint Sun. The Tianhong Saint Sun's face darkened. He glared at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, I've underestimated you this time. However, it's impossible for me to hand over the divine dragon materialization art. Change your condition. I'll try my best to satisfy you. The Tianhong Saint Sun actually wanted to go back on his word. I don't need to change my conditions. I just want the divine dragon materialization technique. We agreed on it during the bet. Tianhong, are you going back on your word now? Lu Ming said. The Tianhong Saint Sun's killing intent had reached its peak. He had promised Lu Ming previously because he did not expect that he would lose. He thought that he would definitely win and thus agreed to Lu Ming's request. Lu Ming, don't push your luck. The Tianhong Saint Sun said coldly. His threat was obvious. What insatiable. What a joke. I'm just getting what I deserve. I risked my life for this. Tianhong, hand over the divine dragon materialization technique. Lu Ming said loudly. The Tianhong Saint Sun gritted his teeth and wished he could cut Lu Ming into pieces. However, with so many people watching today, if he went back on his word in public, it would damage his reputation greatly. It would also be disadvantageous for him to compete for the position of the sect leader of Kong Xian sect in the future. What right did a person who went back on his word have to be in charge of the Kong Xian sect? Nine-clawed divine dragon Lu Ming. The divine dragon materialization technique requires the blood of the divine dragon in your body to cultivate. You don't have the blood of the divine dragon. Even if I give it to you, you won't be able to cultivate it. The Tianhong Saint Sun said. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to give me the divine dragon materialization technique. Lu Ming said indifferently. The Tianhong Saint Sun gritted his teeth. In the end, he had no choice. His palm glowed and a scroll appeared. Here you go, the Tianhong Saint Sun waved his hand, and the scroll flew out with a terrifying howl. Needless to say, the scroll contained terrifying power. Ouyang Qingxiang's figure flashed as she caught the scroll. She came to Lu Ming's side and passed it to him. Many thanks. Lu Ming thanked him and took the scroll. He opened it and read it. Lu Ming's face darkened after he took a look. He looked at the Tianhong Saint Sun coldly and said, The divine dragon materialization art you gave me is incomplete. Do you want to go back on your word? Although he had never come into contact with the divine dragon materialization art, he could still tell whether a secret art was complete or not. The divine dragon materialization art I obtained was incomplete. Otherwise, how could you stop me? The Tianhong Saint Sun said coldly. Tianhong, if you want to go back on your word, just say it. There's no need to find such an excuse. Lu Ming revealed a mocking expression. I've said that the divine dragon materialization technique I obtained is incomplete. Don't you understand? The Tianhong Saint Sun's face turned even uglier. Lu Ming, that's true. I've heard before that Tianhong's divine dragon materialization technique was obtained from an ancient relic. It's indeed incomplete. At this moment, Ouyang Qingxiang spoke. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that the Tianhong Saint Sun was not lying. Let's go. In the air, the Tianhong Saint Sun snorted, waved his sleeves, and turned to leave. Today, he had really suffered a great loss. Not only did he fail to kill Lu Ming, but he also lost a divine dragon materialization technique. In his heart, he had already put Lu Ming on his must-kill list. The Tianhong Saint Sun and his people left in dejection. Holy Maiden Qingxiang, thank you for saving me this time. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Ouyang Qingxiang to express his gratitude. This time, without Ouyang Qingxiang, he would not have had the chance to gamble with the Tianhong Saint's son. The Tianhong Saint's son had agreed to the bet because he could not take down Ouyang Qingxiang in a short time. You're welcome. This time, it's all on you. Ouyang Xiangxiang's beautiful eyes flickered. She was even more curious about Lu Ming. Lu Ming was only at the 3rd stage True God realm, but he could actually take a blow from the Tianhong Saint's son and not die. The Tianhong Saint's son's cultivation base was at the peak of the 4th level Heavenly God realm. By the way, Saintess Qingxiang, why does the divine dragon Dharma form that the Tianhong Saint's son condensed have 6 dragon claws? Lu Ming asked the question in his heart. That's a 6-clawed divine dragon. Don't tell me you don't even know that? Ouyang Qingxiang said. A 6-clawed divine dragon? Well, I don't really know much about the dragon clan. Lu Ming smiled awkwardly. In the dragon clan, the most ordinary dragon clan has 5 dragon claws. The dragon clan of a higher grade has 6 or even 7 dragon claws. Ouyang Xiangxiang explained. 6 dragon claws? 7 dragon claws? Isn't it because of the mutation? Lu Ming asked again. Mutation? The more dragon claws a dragon has, the purer their bloodline is, the higher their level, and the more powerful they are. In the dragon clan, most of the divine dragons are 5-clawed divine dragons, and 6-clawed divine dragons are already high-level divine dragons. There are very few of them. The more there are, the more talented and powerful they are, and the fewer they are. I heard that the highest-level divine dragon in the dragon clan has 9 claws and is called the 9-clawed divine dragon. It is extremely terrifying. Ouyang Qingxiang explained. So it's like this. It seems that my understanding of the dragon race was wrong. Lu Ming mumbled to himself and came to a sudden realization. In the past, in the heaven realm and the primordial realm, all true dragons were 5-clawed, so the occasional 6-clawed or even 9-clawed dragon was thought to be a mutation. In fact, that was not the case. The more dragon claws there were, it was not a mutation. It just meant that the ancient bloodline in the dragon claws was thicker. It seems that the 9 dragons aren't mutated. It's just the manifestation of the ancient bloodline in their bodies that has reached an extreme level. What a pity, what a pity. At the thought of this, Lu Ming sighed. It was a pity that Jiulong was born in the heaven realm, a small kiliacosm. His talent might not have been fully activated. The 9-clawed divine dragon was the highest level of divine dragon in the primeval universe. If the 9 dragons were born in the primeval universe, their achievements would be limitless. Lu Ming, if you're interested in the dragon clan, you can look for some related books to read. These are common knowledge in the prehistoric universe. Ouyang Qingxiang said. All right, he said. Lu Ming nodded. However, he thought to himself, I'm afraid common sense is not necessarily the case. In a place like the chaotic astral river, I'm afraid that the understanding of the dragon clan is very limited. Otherwise, the ancestor of technique and even the ancestral dragon would have known about the origins of the 9 dragons. They all thought that the 9 dragons were the mutants of the true dragons. Immediately, Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng all left the place. Lu Ming first went to Enhai's residence to help him and the rest heal. A few days later, when Enhai and the others' injuries were no longer a problem, Lu Ming returned to his residence to cultivate and heal his injuries. He had taken the Tianhong Saint's son's attack head-on and had been severely injured. It took him half a month to recover. After his injuries were healed, Lu Ming took out the secret technique, Divine Dragon Materialization Technique, and read it in detail. The Divine Dragon Materialization Technique was extremely mysterious. After successfully cultivating it, one could condense the Divine Dragon Materialization when they circulated it. Its power was extremely shocking. Moreover, the strength of the Divine Dragon phenomenon that was cultivated had a lot to do with the concentration of the Divine Dragon's bloodline in the cultivator's body. The higher and purer the bloodline, the more terrifying the power of the Divine Dragon phenomenon cultivated would be. After a few days, Lu Ming had almost figured out the divine dragon materialization art. He then cultivated it according to the records on it. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming's cultivation was extremely smooth and without any difficulty. In just half a month, Lu Ming had successfully cultivated it. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in the courtyard and circulated the divine dragon materialization technique. A dragon's roar came from his body, and a divine dragon condensed above his head. This divine dragon was only a few meters long. The size of the divine dragon phenomenon could be controlled at will. Lu Ming could also change the divine dragon phenomenon to tens of thousands of meters long. What was shocking was that it had 8 dragon claws on its abdomen. It was an 8-clawed divine dragon. The Tianhong Saint's son had only cultivated a 6-clawed divine dragon dharma power, while Lu Ming had cultivated an 8-clawed divine dragon dharma power. However, Lu Ming was not satisfied. He frowned slightly. The divine dragon phenomenon that he had cultivated was supposed to be a 9-clawed divine dragon. Chapter 2805 Dragonhead. As expected, this divine dragon materialization secret technique is incomplete. If it was complete, I would definitely be able to cultivate the 9-clawed divine dragon phenomenon. I might even be able to cultivate more than 1, 2, 3, 4, or even more. Lu Ming pondered in his heart. He was extremely eager for the complete divine dragon materialization art. Think about it, once he made a move, he could directly condense dozens of divine dragons. How amazing would his power be? The divine dragon materialization art was simply too suitable for him. There was no doubt that condensing the divine dragon phenomenon would consume a lot of divine power. However, Lu Ming cultivated the universal Tao mantra and could cultivate many divine flames. His divine power was much stronger than others. Also, he had the quantity formula and did not have to worry about not having enough Shen power. The Tianhong Saint's son's divine dragon materialization technique was obtained from an ancient relic. Does that relic have a complete divine dragon phenomenon? Lu Ming pondered. He really wanted to obtain the complete divine dragon phenomenon. Once he obtained it, his combat strength would be greatly improved. Go and ask Ouyang Qingxiang. Let's see if she understands. At the thought of this, Lu Ming left the courtyard and headed to Ouyang Qingxiang's residence. The place where the saintess lived was naturally extraordinary. It occupied an entire mountain peak and was guarded. How impressive! Unfortunately, there are too few people who came to me. Otherwise, I could also apply for a mountain to live on. Lu Ming thought to himself. Of course, he only had 2 or 3 subordinates now. It would be a joke if he applied for a mountain with no one living in it. Stop! When Lu Ming came to the front of the mountain peak, he was blocked by a few young women. However, when the few young women saw Lu Ming's appearance clearly, they revealed looks of admiration. Holy Son Lu Ming, it's you! Holy Son Lu Ming, are you here to see our holy maiden? A few young and beautiful women blinked their big eyes and sized Lu Ming up curiously. Lu Ming had only joined the sect for a few decades and had become the Holy Son with his true God-level cultivation. He was simply a legend in the Kong Xian sect. Since ancient times, beauties loved heroes. Naturally, they were curious and worshipped him. Yes, I'm here to see Holy Maiden Qingxiang. I'll have to trouble you to inform her. Lu Ming smiled. All right, please wait a moment, Holy Son Lu Ming. Immediately, a young woman flew towards the mountain peak. After a while, a few figures flew out. The person in the lead was Ouyang Xiangxiang. Lu Ming, why are you looking for me today? Come, please come in. Ouyang Xiangxiang smiled and flew toward the peak with Lu Ming. They arrived at a pavilion and sat opposite each other. I'm here today to ask about Tianhong's divine dragon materialization technique. Saintess Qingxiang said that Tianhong's divine dragon materialization technique came from an ancient ruin. I wonder where that ruin is? Lu Ming asked. It seems that Brother Lu has remembered the complete divine dragon materialization technique. However, if you want to cultivate it, you need a rich divine dragon bloodline. Otherwise, even if you get it, you can't cultivate it. What does Brother Lu want the divine dragon materialization technique for? A gift? Ouyang Qingxiang asked curiously. Of course I'm going to train by myself. Lu Ming said with a smile. Cultivate on your own? Ouyang Xiangxiang was even more curious. However, the next moment, her beautiful eyes widened as a divine dragon suddenly appeared above Lu Ming's head. Divine dragon phenomenon, and it's an 8-clawed divine dragon phenomenon. Ouyang Qingxiang's red lips widened in shock, and she only recovered after a long while. Brother Lu, I've really underestimated you. I didn't expect you to have the bloodline of a divine dragon in your body. Furthermore, you've managed to cultivate the divine dragon phenomenon in just a month. It's even an 8-clawed divine dragon. I wonder what Tianhong's expression will be like when he sees this? Ouyang Xiangxiang exclaimed. Unfortunately, the divine dragon materialization technique that Tianhong gave me was incomplete. Lu Ming sighed. Ouyang Qingxiang finally understood why Lu Ming wanted the complete divine dragon materialization technique. Tianhong found the divine dragon materialization technique in an ancient ruin, Yemo said. He's been keeping the ruin a secret all these years and has been excavating it secretly. I guess he wants to get the complete divine dragon materialization technique, but he hasn't succeeded. I once sent people to investigate and found out where the ruins were. Ouyang Qingxiang said. I know. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Ouyang Qingxiang nodded. The ruins are in a rather remote place in the Qin Heaven star system. It's a place called the Yellow Wind Galaxy. Lu Ming, if you want to go, I can go with you. Thank you. Lu Ming stood up to thank him. With Ouyang Xiangxiang going with him, his confidence would be much greater. There's no time to waste. Let's go now. Ouyang Xiangxiang was also a decisive person. She immediately went to the teleportation array of the Kong Xian sect with Lu Ming. They took the teleportation array and rushed to the Yellow Wind Galaxy. The Yellow Wind Galaxy was very far away from the Kong Xian sect. It took the two of them a month and a half to arrive at a planet in the Yellow Wind Galaxy by using the teleportation formation. After that, the two of them boarded the interplanetary warship and flew toward their destination. After flying for a few more days, a strange planet appeared in front of them. From afar, this planet looked like a dragon's head. It was like a gigantic divine dragon that had its head chopped off. Its head was floating in the air, forming a planet. This is Dragonhead Planet, Emo said. There are no living creatures on this planet. It's a desolate place. The relic of the divine dragon materialization technique that Tianhong obtained is on this planet. Now, Tianhong is probably on this planet. We should be careful not to alert him. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming nodded. Immediately, the two of them exited the interplanetary warship and appeared in the starry sky. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, he could still fly in the starry sky for a short time. As for Ouyang Xiangxiang, she was a heavenly god and could cross the starry sky with her own strength. The two of them concealed their auras and flew toward Dragonhead Star. Not long after, the two of them entered the atmosphere of Dragonhead Planet and landed on a mountain. The ruins should be in the east. Let's go. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Dragonhead Planet wasn't very big. It was much smaller than the other life planets. In a short while, they had flown past more than half of the planets. A huge mountain range appeared in front of them, like a divine dragon lying on the ground. Suddenly they saw a figure flash by. The two of them quickly hid and watched from afar. At the head of the mountain range, there was a huge cave. A group of people were guarding the cave. There were young people and old people. It's Tianhong's men. It seems that Tianhong is indeed here. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming frowned slightly. The people from the Tianhong sect were guarding the entrance of the cave. How are they going to enter? Chapter 2806. Barging in. Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang simply waited at the same spot. They wanted to wait for the Tianhong Saint Sun's people to leave before entering the ruins. However, a month had passed, and the Tianhong Saint Sun's people showed no signs of leaving. Holy Maiden Qingxiang, what is the cultivation level of those guards? Lu Ming asked. Some of them are very strong and are outer sect elders. Some are third-level celestial deities, and 2 are fourth-level celestial deities. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Oh, holy maiden Qingxiang, can you help me distract those people? I'll sneak into the cave. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. It's not a problem to lure those people away. However, Tianhong is very likely to be in that cave. There might be other experts in there. It will be very dangerous for you to go in. Ouyang Qingxiang said. I won't be impulsive. I'll sneak in and hide myself. I won't expose myself if I'm not confident. Lu Ming said. All right, let's do that. Ouyang Qingxiang was also a decisive person. She immediately nodded and the two of them approached the cave. The cave was very big and dark, so he couldn't see what was inside. Outside the cave, there were more than a dozen people who looked listless. There were no other living beings here at all. They were only guarding this place just in case. Buzz. At this moment, Ouyang Xiangxiang immediately rushed out. Who is it? Immediately, an old man shouted. It's Holy Maiden Qingxiang. She wants to enter the ruins. Stop her. The guards roared and charged toward Ouyang Qingxiang. Over a dozen people, half of them were celestial deity realm. There were even 2 4th-level celestial deities, their combat strength very strong. However, Ouyang Qingxiang was a saintess. She had control over saint-grade divine power and was extremely powerful. She easily blocked the attacks of these people. Go and report to the saint that Ouyang Qingxiang is here. I'll go. An elder immediately rushed into the cave and disappeared. The rest of the people focused on dealing with Ouyang Qingxiang. Seizing the opportunity, Lu Ming quickly flashed along the ground, using the obstacles on the ground to hide his figure. The other party did not notice him. Lu Ming successfully rushed into the cave. The cave was dark and deep. Lu Ming slid down slowly along the wall of the cave. After sliding down for tens of thousands of meters, he finally reached the bottom of the cave. At the bottom of the cave, there was a passage that was a few thousand meters high. It was huge, and the walls were inlaid with some luminous stones that emitted a faint glow. Lu Ming dashed into the passage and kept moving forward. There's someone. Suddenly, Lu Ming had an idea. He quickly hid in a groove on the wall. The walls of the tunnel were uneven. Some of them were protruding while others were sunken. It was easy to hide. After hiding themselves, a few figures flashed through the passage. Lu Ming could clearly see that they were a few elders. They must have gone to support Ouyang Qingxiang. They were in a hurry and did not notice Lu Ming. After the few elders left, Lu Ming continued to walk forward in the passage. Not long after, Lu Ming passed through the passageway and came to a huge underground space. After Lu Ming arrived, he was stunned. The underground space was extremely vast. At the very front, there was a huge stone staircase that was 10,000 meters tall. Above the staircase was a palace that looked like the legendary Dragon Palace. At the bottom of the stairs, there were a few figures standing. Lu Ming saw at a glance that one of them was the Tianhong Saint's son. The other 2 people were 2 old men. The 2 of you, go out together and take down that bitch, Ouyang Qingxiang. The Tianhong Saint's son's cold voice was heard. But Saint, once we leave, you'll be the only one left. An old man said hesitantly. It doesn't matter. I'm about to climb the sacred dragon stairs. On the sacred dragon stairs, no matter who it is, they will be under terrifying pressure and will be protected. No one who enters will be able to hurt me. You can put it down. The Tianhong Saint's son waved his hand. All right, then we'll be going out. The 2 old men nodded. Then their figures flashed and they rushed outside. The Tianhong Saint's son's eyes were burning with desire as he looked at the stairs. I don't believe that I can't climb up. I can definitely. The Tianhong Saint's son growled. His body swelled up and transformed into the form of the Dragon Man race. Golden divine power emanated from his body. He stepped onto the stairs. Bang! When the Tianhong Saint's son stepped onto the stairs, there was a huge boom, as if a mountain had fallen to the ground. The Tianhong Saint's son landed steadily on the first step and stepped up to the second. Every step he took caused the stairs to rumble. It was as if every step he took was extremely heavy. There is indeed a powerful pressure on the stairs. Lu Ming pondered. He took a look and understood what was going on. He had encountered this type of test many times. The Tianhong Saint Sun was very fast at first. Soon, he had covered half the distance and started to slow down. It was obvious that the more he advanced, the greater the pressure he felt. Dragon roars came from the Tianhong Saint Sun's body. The golden dragon scales on his body glowed even more brightly. His eyes were determined as he slowly climbed up. Unfortunately, after walking for a while, the Tianhong Saint Sun's figure almost stopped. I don't believe it. I don't believe I can't make it. My dragon blood, boil. The Tianhong Saint Sun roared. Blood-red light covered his body, and a six-clawed divine dragon appeared above his head. He had even used the divine dragon phenomenon, which allowed the Tianhong Saint Sun to continue moving up. Unfortunately, when he was 2/3 up the stairs, he stopped completely and could not take another step. Damn it, why? Is my divine dragon bloodline not strong enough? The Tianhong Saint Sun roared angrily. He was extremely unwilling. Is there the complete divine dragon materialization technique on it? Lu Ming made a guess. Since the Tianhong Saint Sun wanted to climb the stairs so badly, it was very likely that the complete divine dragon materialization art was on it. Come closer. Lu Ming followed the obstacles at the side and slowly approached the stairs. He was getting closer and closer to the palace above the stairs. At this moment, Lu Ming actually felt that his blood was slowly boiling. At the same time, there was a kind of desire. Yes, it was a desire, a feeling that appeared in his blood. It was as if there was something on the stairs that deeply attracted Lu Ming. I must go to the top of the palace. Lu Ming muttered. His eyes were firm as he made a decision. There was a strong pressure on the stairs. The others seemed to be unable to go up. The Tianhong Saint Sun was on top and had no power to attack. Lu Ming was not afraid. Chapter 2806 Scroll Lu Ming made the decision to go up. Lu Ming was a decisive person. Since he had made his decision, he would not hesitate anymore. He did not have time to hesitate. If Ouyang Qingxiang could not hold the Tianhong Saint Sun's men outside, he would be in trouble when the experts returned. Buzz. Lu Ming no longer hesitated. He dashed out and headed for the stairs. The Tianhong Saint Sun noticed Lu Ming the moment he rushed out. Lu Ming, it's you. The Tianhong Saint Sun roared, and his killing intent exploded. However, he was on the stairs and could not kill Lu Ming even if he wanted to. Bang! Lu Ming landed heavily on the first step of the staircase, causing a heavy boom. Immediately, Lu Ming felt a powerful force coming from the top of the stairs. It was as if it could topple mountains and overturn the seas. It pressed down on Lu Ming, trying to blast him off the stairs. You want to climb the Holy Dragon stairs without the Divine Dragon's bloodline in your body? You're daydreaming. The Tianhong Saint Sun sneered and took a few steps down. He was waiting for Lu Ming to be blasted out of the Holy Dragon steps, then he would go and kill Lu Ming. This time, he wanted Lu Ming to die a miserable death. However, in the next moment, his body froze. This was because Lu Ming did not get blasted down the stairs as he had expected. Instead, he stood firmly on the stairs. You have the bloodline of a divine dragon? The Tianhong Saint Sun asked gloomily. In this world, your Dragonman race isn't the only one with the bloodline of the divine dragon. Lu Ming smiled faintly. It turned out that only those who had the bloodline of the divine dragon could climb the stairs. If one did not have the bloodline of the divine dragon, they would be blasted down the stairs by the power of the stairs. Just now, when Lu Ming had just stepped onto the stairs, he had almost been blasted off. At the critical moment, the 9 dragons' blood essence in his blood boiled and he was able to stand on the stairs. So what if you have the bloodline of the divine dragon? Can you ascend it? You can't go up there. When you're exhausted, I'll be the time of your death. The Tianhong Saint Sun said coldly, then strode down the stairs. He was very relaxed when he returned. The Tianhong Saint Sun soon reached the first step and came to Lu Ming's side. However, there was a force guarding the steps, so he could not do anything to Lu Ming. The Tianhong Saint Sun cast a murderous glance at Lu Ming and stepped out of the staircase. He landed outside the staircase and stood guard there. He was waiting for Lu Ming to exhaust his strength and fall down. Then he could kill Lu Ming. You can just wait. Lu Ming smiled contemptuously. He then turned around and strode up the stairs. Bang, bang, bang. With every step he took, the stairs would rumble. Lu Ming's speed was very fast and he had taken hundreds of steps in no time. He was even faster than the Tianhong Saint's son. This kid, how can he be so fast? The Tianhong Saint's son looked terrible. The pressure behind is getting greater and greater, and the difficulty is also getting higher and higher. This kid definitely can't go up, definitely can't. The Tianhong Saint's son kept shouting in his heart. He was a heaven's favorite of the Dragon Man race, and the divine dragon bloodline in his body was very thick. It was comparable to the six-clawed divine dragon among the divine dragons. He did not believe that Lu Ming, a human, could have a thicker divine dragon bloodline than him. However, the truth slapped him in the face. Lu Ming's speed did not slow down at all. Very soon he had crossed half of the steps, followed by 2/3. This was already the limit of the Tianhong Saint's son's journey, but Lu Ming had managed to reach this point in one go. At this point, Lu Ming's speed slowed down. The pressure here was already very shocking. The blood in Lu Ming's body churned rapidly, as if it was about to burn. A dragon's roar could be heard from the blood. A 9-headed dragon shuttled through the blood in a lifelike manner. A layer of blood mist covered the surface of Lu Ming's body. Then, the blood mist gathered into a 9-dragon in the air and roared into the sky. A 9-clawed divine dragon, it's a 9-clawed divine dragon. The Tianhong Saint's son yelled in disbelief. He was so shocked that he almost jumped. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that Lu Ming's body contained the bloodline of the 9-clawed divine dragon, the highest level among the divine dragons. No wonder this boy can walk so fast. It turns out that he has the bloodline of a 9-clawed divine dragon in his body. If I can snatch the bloodline of a 9-clawed divine dragon from his body and use it for my own use, my talent will be improved by many times. The Tianhong Saint's son's eyes were filled with greed. The manifestation of the 9 dragons lightened the pressure on Lu Ming and he sped up again. Very soon, Lu Ming was only 100 steps away from the end of the stairs. However, the pressure on the last 100 steps was also the most terrifying. Lu Ming's body trembled with every step he took. Divine Dragon Materialization Art, break. Lu Ming growled and activated the Divine Dragon Materialization Art. An 8-clawed divine dragon formed above his head. The divine dragon roared and pounced forward, helping Lu Ming break the pressure on the stairs. Instantly, the pressure was reduced again. Lu Ming quickly went up. Divine Dragon Materialization Art, damn it. The Tianhong Saint's son gritted his teeth when he saw Lu Ming use the Divine Dragon Materialization Art. He was both shocked and jealous. It had only been a short while, but Lu Ming had already cultivated the Divine Dragon Materialization technique and even cultivated an 8-clawed divine dragon. He had been cultivating the Divine Dragon Materialization Art for tens of thousands of years, but he had only managed to cultivate one 6-clawed divine dragon. This made him even more greedy for Lu Ming's 9-dragon bloodline. Bang, bang. The rumbling sounds on the stairs continued. Lu Ming was getting closer and closer to the top of the stairs. The Tianhong Saint's son's face grew gloomier. With the last boom, Lu Ming successfully stepped onto the platform above the stairs. Above the stairs was a majestic palace. The palace's door was open, and it was impossible to see what was inside. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Without any hesitation, he strode forward and walked through the door. After stepping through the door, the lights suddenly brightened. Lu Ming could see the situation behind the door clearly. Behind the door was a wide hall. There was nothing else in the hall. It was empty. Lu Ming looked around but did not find anything. However, the center of the hall attracted Lu Ming's attention. In the middle of the hall, there was a stone pillar that was more than a meter tall. Above the stone pillar, there was a scroll floating, emitting a gentle light. What was amazing was that there was a small divine dragon made of energy flying around the scroll. Could it be the complete Divine Dragon Materialization Art? Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he stepped forward. Kid, there's a defensive formation on this scroll. Bone warned. A defensive formation? Then how do we break it? Lu Ming asked. It's simple. You have the blood essence of a 9-clawed divine dragon in your body. You just need to drip a drop of your blood on the scroll, and you'll naturally be able to break the formation on it. Bone said, That's simple. Lu Ming forced out a drop of blood and dripped it on the scroll. The complete divine dragon materialization technique. When Lu Ming's blood dripped onto the scroll, a dragon's roar was heard from the scroll. Then, the scroll emitted a dazzling light that only disappeared after a long while. At the bottom of the stairs, the Tianhong Saint's son was extremely anxious. He was even more anxious when he suddenly heard the dragon's roar and the light above. Damn it. Did that kid already get the complete divine dragon materialization technique? The Tianhong Saint's son thought anxiously. He rushed up the stairs, but the pressure on the stairs stopped him. He could only step back unwillingly. To wait here. Lu Ming, even if you get the complete divine dragon materialization art, you'll just be making a wedding dress for me. This is good too. It saves me trouble. The Tianhong Saint's son laughed coldly. He felt better at the thought of this. In the hall, after the light on the scroll disappeared, Lu Ming reached out and grabbed the scroll. There was nothing unusual. Lu Ming opened the scroll in anticipation. There were many small words in the scroll, densely packed. Lu Ming read it carefully. After a while, he put down the scroll. The complete divine dragon materialization art. It's really the complete divine dragon materialization art. Lu Ming's face was filled with ecstasy. This scroll indeed recorded the complete divine dragon materialization technique. It was extremely mysterious, much more so than the incomplete divine dragon materialization technique. If it could be cultivated to major accomplishment, its power would definitely be shocking. It could become Lu Ming's trump card and even surpass the ice chain. How do I get down? Lu Ming kept the scroll and started to think. The Tianhong Saint's son must be guarding the bottom of the stairs. If he went down, the Tianhong Saint's son would definitely not let him go. Forget it, he'll wait for a while. If it really doesn't work, he'll just cultivate here for a while. I wonder how Holy Maiden Qingxiang is doing? Lu Ming had an idea in his mind. He then started to wander around the palace. There were other doors around the palace. Lu Ming walked around but found nothing. Then he walked to the door at the end of the hall. Behind the door at the end of the hall, there was a long corridor that went straight ahead. After passing through the corridor, a beam of light suddenly shot down from above. Lu Ming looked up and realized that it was a door of light. The light was shining through the door of light. Could this be a teleportation gate? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. This is the teleportation gate. It should be an escape route that leads to the outside world. The Bone Devil's voice sounded. The heavens are on my side. Tianhong, just wait. Lu Ming laughed out loud. He then rose into the air and rushed towards the light door. Lu Ming's figure disappeared into the door of light. The next moment, Lu Ming appeared in a canyon. It's out, it's really out. Let's go find Holy Maiden Qingxiang now. Lu Ming turned into a beam of light and left the place. This canyon was not far from the entrance. Very soon, Lu Ming heard a violent roar coming from the front. Ouyang Xiangxiang was currently engaged in an intense battle with a group of experts. More than 10 elders were all heavenly gods. Among them, there were even 1 or 2 5th-level heavenly gods and a few 4th-level heavenly gods. Facing so many experts, Ouyang Qingxiang mainly focused on defense and was not at a disadvantage at all. Lu Ming flew over and shouted from a distance, "Holy Maiden Qingxiang, let's go!" What? When she saw Lu Ming suddenly appear from behind, Ouyang Qingxiang was clearly stunned and very surprised. Lu Ming had clearly entered the cave from the entrance. Why did he suddenly run to the back? However, she didn't think too much about it and started to attack. Song of the Green Lotus Sword, die! Ouyang Qingxiang shouted as she waved her sword. Green lotuses appeared in the air, each of which emitted a terrifying sword chi that forced the elders to retreat. Ouyang Xiangxiang took the opportunity to break out of the tight encirclement and flew toward Lu Ming. Are we going to chase them? An old man said, Ouyang Qingxiang is too powerful. Even if we catch up with her, we can't do anything to her. Our duty is to guard here and report this situation to the saint. Another old man said, All right. The others nodded. They did not know that Lu Ming had sneaked in and even obtained the complete divine dragon materialization technique that the Tianhong Saint's son had been dreaming of. If they had known, they would not have let Lu Ming and his companion leave so easily. An elder rushed into the cave to report to the Tianhong Saint's son. Ouyang Xiangxiang had already arrived beside Lu Ming. Let's go back to the Kongxian sect. Lu Ming said. Ouyang Xiangxiang did not ask any further. She and Lu Ming soared into the sky and took out the Starry Sky battleship. They boarded the battleship and left Dragon Head Planet. The Tianhong Saint's son was still standing guard at the bottom of the stairs. Kid, let's see how long you can stay here. The Tianhong Saint's son snorted. His eyes were filled with killing intent and passion. After a while, an old man rushed in. How is it? How's that bitch Ouyang Xiangxiang? The Tianhong Saint's son asked. He's gone. He's already left. The old man replied. He left? You're all really trash. If it wasn't for the fact that I couldn't leave this place, I would have personally suppressed her. The Tianhong Saint's son snorted, which made the elder's face turn ugly. Is it just Ouyang Qingxiang? Are there any others? The Tianhong Saint's son said. Why yes, there's one more person. It's Lu Ming. He left with Holy Maiden Qingxiang. The old man said. However, before the elder could finish, the Tianhong Saint's son yelled in disbelief. What did you just say? You mean Lu Ming? The Tianhong Saint's son jumped up and yelled at the elder as if he was going to eat him. The elder was shocked. He did not understand why the Tianhong Saint's son had such a huge reaction when he heard Lu Ming's name. He was confused. Look carefully. That's really Lu Ming and not anyone else. The Tianhong Saint's son asked, his eyes wide. There's no mistake. It's definitely Lu Ming. The old man said firmly. Damn it, there's still a way up there. Damn it, chase, quickly chase, the Tianhong Saint's son roared. He turned into a beam of light and chased after them. Outside the cave, the Tianhong Saint's son led his subordinates and chased after the Kongxian sect. However, it was already too late. Lu Ming and the rest had long left. In the starship, Lu Ming, have you already obtained the complete divine dragon materialization technique? Ouyang Qingxiang asked curiously. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. He did not hide anything and told her what had happened in the cave. This time, I have to thank Holy Maiden Qingxiang for her help. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for me to help. In the future, if Holy Maiden Qingxiang needs anything, feel free to ask. Lu Ming will definitely not refuse. Lu Ming said. You're welcome, Yemo said. But I'm afraid Tianhong will find out soon and will come after you. He has been trying to get the complete divine dragon materialization technique. Now that you've got it, I'm afraid he'll go crazy. We need to hurry back to Kongxian sect to make preparations. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming nodded. The battle between the Holy Sons and Holy Virgins. After traveling for more than a month, Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang returned to Kongxian sect. After returning to the Kongxian sect, Lu Ming immediately brought An Hai, Lu Chang, and Zhao Feng to Ouyang Xiangxiang's residence. Chiyue is still in the Divine Pulse Tower. I hope she doesn't come out during this time. Lu Ming pondered. However, Lu Ming had kept a low profile when he brought Qiuyu to the Kongxian sect. Not many people knew about his relationship with Qiuyu, so she should be fine. After Ouyang Xiangxiang returned to her residence, she gathered many experts from her faction and stationed them on the mountain peak where she lived. Not long after Lu Ming and the rest returned, the Tianhong Saint's son returned with his men. The moment he returned, he rushed to Lu Ming's residence. When he did not find Lu Ming, he went to An Hai. The residences of Lu Chang and the others were also empty. You're definitely hiding at that bitch Ouyang Qingxiang's place. Don't think that you'll be fine just because you're hiding there. If you don't hand over the divine dragon materialization art, it'll kill you even if you hide at the ends of the earth. The Tianhong Saint Sun's furious roar was heard. He then gathered a large number of experts and charged toward Ouyang Xiangxiang's residence. Why did the Tianhong Saint Sun suddenly gather so many experts? Something big has happened. Something big must have happened. He is heading towards where Saintess Jingxiang lives. Does he want to start a war with her? Quick, inform the saint. The Tianhong Saint Sun had gathered so many experts and rushed toward Ouyang Xiangxiang's residence in an overbearing manner. Naturally, this could not be hidden from the others. The people from the other Saint Sun's factions soon found out, and many of them rushed toward Ouyang Xiangxiang's residence. At Ouyang Xiangxiang's residence, Lu Ming, Ouyang Xiangxiang, and the rest were having a meeting. They're here. An old woman suddenly spoke and looked outside. The old woman was an inner court elder from Ouyang Qingxiang's faction. She was extremely powerful. They came quite quickly. Let's go out and welcome them. Ouyang Qingxiang sneered. They walked out of the courtyard and stood in the air. Boom, boom, boom. In the distance, there was a rumbling explosion, and then waves of terrifying divine power surged over like thousands of soldiers. However, there were also many experts gathered at Ouyang Xiangxiang's residence. All of them released their auras, and their auras shot up into the sky like smoke, crushing the surging waves of divine power. On the horizon, a black mass of people appeared. There were more than 1,000 people. The person in the lead was the Tianhong Saint Sun. The Tianhong Saint Sun and his people stopped 1,000 miles away. Lu Ming. The Tianhong Saint Sun's eyes fell on Lu Ming, filled with murderous intent and greed. Tianhong, what do you want to do by bringing so many people here in such an aggressive manner? Ouyang Qingxiang asked despite already knowing the answer. What do you want? It's very simple. Hand Lu Ming over to me and I'll leave with my men immediately. The Tianhong Saint Sun said. Give you Holy Son Lu Ming? What a joke, Lu Ming is also a saint. He can't be taken away by just anyone. Ouyang Qingxiang sneered. Today, I must take Lu Ming away. Whoever stops me will be my enemy. I will not hesitate to fight. The Tianhong Saint Sun said coldly. Not only did Lu Ming take the complete divine dragon materialization art, but he also had the bloodline of the 9-clawed divine dragon. To the Tianhong Saint Sun, Lu Ming was a huge treasure trove. As long as he could obtain Lu Ming's 9-clawed divine dragon bloodline and the complete divine dragon materialization technique, his combat strength would definitely be elevated to an astonishing level. He could even surpass the Supreme Holy Son and become the #1 Holy Son of the Kong-Xian sect. In that case, the position of the future sect leader of the Kong-Xian sect would be in his pocket. When he thought of this, his heart was burning with passion. He had to get Lu Ming. If you want to fight, then fight. Do you think I'll be afraid of you? Ouyang Xiangxiang was extremely domineering. Good, very good. Today, I'll destroy your sect. Attack and take down Lu Ming. The Tianhong Saint Sun roared. Boom, 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 boom. The experts from the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction and Ouyang Qingxiang's faction all unleashed terrifying auras. They clashed in the air, creating powerful shockwaves. There were quite a few inner sect elders here. They were all peak heavenly god realm existences. At this moment, the clash of auras was earth-shaking. Then, a few figures soared into the sky. In an instant, they had rushed out of the atmosphere and were fighting in the starry sky. A peak heavenly god was too terrifying. If they fought within the atmosphere, the damage to the earth would be unimaginable. Kill! The most powerful people fought beyond the starry sky, while the Tianhong Saint Sun and the others attacked Ouyang Qingxiang and Lu Ming. Attack! Ouyang Qingxiang and the others did not back down and also charged over. Ouyang Xiangxiang once again engaged the Tianhong Saint Sun in battle. Capture Lu Ming. Take him down. A few heavenly god-level powerhouses charged at Lu Ming. Fortunately, Ouyang Qingxiang also had an expert by Lu Ming's side who blocked the other party's attack. Thousands of experts from both sides were engaged in a fierce battle. And this area was already surrounded by people. Even Saint Sun Jixia and Saintess Xuetan had come. What exactly happened? Tianhong actually led his men to fight Ouyang Xiangxiang. Saint Sun Jixia said, full of doubts. I don't know, but it must be something big. Otherwise, the Tianhong Saint Sun wouldn't be so crazy. He's bent on capturing Lu Ming. I guess Lu Ming has offended him again. Holy Maiden Xuetan said. However, they would not stop them. They were looking forward to the battle between the Tianhong Saint Sun and Ouyang Qingxiang. It would be best if both of them were seriously injured. That way, they would have less competition. The battle was getting more and more intense, and there were even people who had fallen. Boom. At this moment, a huge hand suddenly appeared in the starry sky. This huge hand was boundlessly huge, and it pressed down on the inner sect elders who were fighting. God King. The inner sect elders screamed in horror. Then, they were crushed by the big hand, and they were blasted into the atmosphere like meteorites falling to the ground. Then, a figure suddenly appeared in the sky, exuding a terrifying pressure that pressed down on the people from the Tianhong Saint Sun's and Ouyang Qingxiang's factions. The people of the two factions were immediately locked in the air by this energy, unable to move. Brat, a God King has appeared. I'm going to hide. Bone's voice rang out before disappearing into Jing Ye's portrait. God King, what a terrifying pressure. Lu Ming looked at the figure in the sky, his eyes filled with shock. At this moment, his body couldn't move at all under the pressure. Even the high-level Divine Realm experts couldn't move an inch. It's the Deputy Hall Master of the Enforcement Hall. Someone exclaimed. The Tianhong Saint Sun, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others also looked serious. Clearly, their battle had alerted the Tribunal Council. Even the Divine King Vice Hall Master had come personally. As holy sons and holy virgins, you actually led your fellow disciples to kill each other. How can you do that? The authoritative voice of the Enforcement Hall's Vice Hall Master sounded. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.